Wake up, gamers, because you're listening to Big Think Dimension with KZ Excellent,
I'm optimistic about things.
Dan and Bob Video Games,
You see that mountain? You can fuck another man on that mountain.
and Mr. Field
Rap-a-doo!
here on GigaBoots.
Okay, who's whiter, snow or vanilla ice? We have to set the record straight on this.
I mean, Snow has Steel Guard, and that's a pretty useful commando ability.
Yeah, I'm gonna say Vanilla Ice.
KZ, you don't know about the hot Canadian rapper Snow who did the hit song Informer, so please do not confuse people further.
Oh.
I thought that's what you meant when you posted this on Twitter.
Yeah,
You're
I
talking
thought-
about Snowvilliers.
I thought you were talking about him too.
I thought this was about literally the element snow, you know, like falling from the
But
sky.
I phrase it like it's a person.
Fucking
Yes.
boomer ass Field knowing about obscure Canadian things.
I know, right?
Well, damn. I guess the panel is at a loss because 75% of it doesn't know who Snow is.
Tragic. That is a very positive way to put you're the only person who knows. For example, only 33% of the people in the room I am are fucking liars about cheeseburgers, Bob.
Week 2 of Burgergate.
That burger is bad.
Dan's like, Bob lied. Bob slandered the burger unjustly.
Bob's out here. He's pulling up diagrams and charts on fucking Twitter. He's like, look at how expensive it is compared to Whataburger Jr. And I'm like, Bob, the 4 for $4 exists. Maybe you would see it if you got out of your fucking Rolls Royce.
Look,
No, Bob is valid for not eating at Wendy's because if you pay money to Wendy's, some of it goes to that intolerable fucking Twitter account. Where it's like, oh, I got food poisoning from Wendy's, and Wendy's is like, oh, I bet your girlfriend killed herself because she got food poisoning from your face, and then they post a flossing gif.
Yeah, it plays the Fortnite dancing music.
Field doesn't like it, so I have to take a positive stance. That's how podcasts work.
I'm now looking up Whataburger's Twitter account just to see what the alternative is.
What? I don't even have
okay.
one.
I'm just going to read this. Okay? Whataburger, October 12th. Caught my shiny trap pinch and Giratina. Now I just need a patty melt. Imagine a dipshit ran the Arby's account with no
Arby's
budget.
is great. I ate that before this podcast.
Yeah, I'm jealous.
I wish we had one of those. They're better than anything at Wendy's.
Yeah, the fucking nearest Arby's is like 18 minutes away. It fucking sucks.
But yeah, the only
Also,
thing...
Bob, if you didn't expect me to follow you down that road, yeah, Arby's over Wendy's every day.
Okay.
But it is more expensive.
Yes, it is.
I cannot get out of an Arby's for only $4 and have a lot of food.
Didn't they have some kind of thing where you could get a bunch of roast beef sandwiches for not a lot of money?
Listen, it's not 1992 anymore. No, they don't.
Turns out feels 100 years old.
Remember when Arby's decided to be about chicken for like a year?
No, I don't remember.
And they pushed all their this is like 2008, 2009, I think. Arby's was like, our chicken's real big. I'm like, what? Who the fuck
Now they're
goes to
just, we
Arby's for
have the
chicken?
meats.
I can't wait till Arby's just starts airing commercials that are stop motion copyright theft. Like
That'd be really funny.
Yeah, wouldn't it?
Be kind of raw.
Come to Arby's. I don't know. Zelda Breath of the Wild was cool. It has Link made out of like fucking roast beef sandwiches.
Here's the fully recreated intro to Final Fantasy X.
Country ho, take me home.
Eunice
Arby's.
staff is like a fry. Oh wait, they have curly fries at Arby's.
They
Although
do.
I think they have normal ones too.
I was just thinking of FF Final Fantasy X's death metal like Rammstein track set to people eating sandwiches.
Yeah, that's the way to do it. You know, we should probably get through things a little quick because we've got 17 new Riot games to talk about.
Okay.
Yeah.
Like Project A, Project
we have
B,
to murder
Project
Pokemon
C,
yet again.
Project D.
Have you ever
Project
seen
E.
the Arby's slider? Because it's really funny looking. Because they have a chicken slider.
Yeah.
I've had ham
I've
and
seen
cheese
it.
But it's just
sliders from them. They're okay.
It's just a chicken tender on a bun, so it like sticks off real far on both ends. It's funny
Yes,
looking.
it's the most.
does.
We made you a sandwich, and you're like, "What are you 8?"
Allegedly.
But yeah,
I will
KZ,
take it, I grab it, and then I jump back into the dumpster and enjoy it.
that ham and cheese slider is probably the best slider, honestly. Also, if anyone's curious, the turkey Reuben they do actually is good. It's a real tasty sandwich. No, highly recommended. But you can't get a turkey Reuben, a drink, a chili, and some chicken nuggets for $4, Bob.
No.
You can't.
Look, I'm not briefed on how the 4 for 4 works. I've been in Wendy's like
I'm not
twice this year.
offended, Dan.
I haven't been briefed on how 4 for 4 works.
I was expecting Bob not to take the ignorant response. I thought he was going to go, I mean, yeah, but that food isn't good, so it's like you're getting bad shit 4 for 4.
Bob just shows up and he's like, "How does this work? Do I pre-order this?" And they're like, "No, you just order the 4 for 4." And he's like, "Do you take trade-ins?" And they're like, "No, what the fuck, kid?" And he's like, "I'm sorry, I'm a gamer."
Look, I looked
Is there
at
a
the 4
battle
for 4
pass
menu.
for this food?
It literally is like you can get a sandwich, one sandwich, and then you get fries or something like chicken nuggets. Like it seems like the selection on it was super limited. Like, oh well, it's only for these things. And I'm like, I don't want to read the fine print on this menu item.
Bob, confirmed
don't wanna
ignorant,
read the
confirmed
fine print.
blind, confirmed lazy. Is that what you want to look like, America? No. Go eat a Junior Bacon cheeseburger.
You're welcome to try it. It's not a good sandwich. Please don't get your hopes up.
People.
Bob's like, yeah, you can poison yourself.
This is a real story. I get thanked by people every day on Twitter for telling people how good the Junior Bacon cheeseburger is. It's true.
The only
Tons of viewers said, "Thank you, Dan, for your bravery."
the only thing worth eating at Wendy's: chicken nuggets and chili. That's it.
Well, yeah, dumbass. That's why you get a 4 for 4, and you say, "Hey, swap the fries for chili." And guess what,
I used to
asshole?
like the
you get a
Baconator.
Junior Bacon, you get chili, you get chicken nuggets, and a drink, all for $4. Incredible.
Until corporate stops them.
No, they haven't. It's been like 6 months. Honestly, corporate did stop them up front, but then they realized they would sell way more if they pulled the stick out of their ass. But
The potatoes, all right.
But we got at least 17 different Riot games to talk about that were announced. So we should probably get to what people have been playing. Bob, what have you been playing?
All I had time to play this week was some demos. There were lots of demos that came out, though. So
Okay, that's cool.
I think my favorite demo of the week was Eterno Blade 2.
Oh my god.
This game's made in Thailand.
Ooh.
The first one was like a PSP game, but this is a full-on PS4 game. It's like a side-scrolling Metroidvania with 3D graphics. Really hilarious voice acting because I don't think any of them are native English speakers.
Probably not.
Probably not.
And it's just a kind of sloppy hack and slash game because they decided it needed like big combos in this side-scrolling 2D game, and it really didn't. It even pops to 3D, full-on 3D combat sometimes for certain boss fights, and it's like, why isn't the whole game just this?
I need to stress to people, if you want a point of reference for visually how this game looks, because it's using Unreal Engine 4.
Yeah.
Soul Seraph, but runs well.
Yeah, it actually did have
This
a
game
stable
looks
frame
like
rate.
if you made X-Blade 2D.
It's a lot better than that because enemies don't take 700 hits.
They do take more than you would think.
Yeah, they do take more than they should. And also, like halfway through the demo, the levels, the areas, backgrounds stopped loading. Like I was just jumping and platforming on non-existent objects and seeing a giant background.
He just ran out of a castle onto thin air, and then he was navigating thin air for dozen feet. Like it was ridiculous.
Yeah, no, there are multiple screen transitions. I kept thinking it's gonna load in eventually, right? No. And that's actually not what stopped me.
Never.
I eventually burned through that part of the game and got to a new area that was actually loading in. And then it threw a boss fight that seemed like impossible at me.
Mm-hmm.
So this game is probably really bad. I mean, what I played wasn't good, but then it was just like, I'm also going to be really hard. And I'm like, that doesn't make any
The
sense.
trailer certainly does not inspire confidence.
No. But go play that demo. It's hilarious when the game literally stopped loading in.
Yeah, no, that was funny. Also, this is the game where I described via the tweet. Let me. I'll paraphrase.
That tweet. No.
Where Bob is playing a game where, what was it? The main character looks like a Star Ocean character reimagined as a.
Oh, that is how this looks.
Yeah, no, it was weird.
Like a Naruto OC or something?
Yeah, it was a Naruto OC as a Star Ocean character. That is how it looked. It was fucking weird.
Sounds raw.
I was laughing so hard at the shit it was doing nonstop. I also tweeted some shit about Citizen Kane this week to upset people who insist that Citizen Kane's a good film.
Citizen Kane is Kino, the pinnacle of film, according to a lot of pretentious people.
Hey man, that was a film, and I've been told it's important. Look, I haven't watched a character study film made in the last 40 years, so that one must be the best and really great.
I like Uwe Boll.
God, I took a fucking film class, and there's like every fucking movie was the worst movie I've ever seen. I'm like, watch this. I'm like, this is fucking boring and ancient. What am I supposed to get out of this?
See, part of me, I'm really torn here, Phil, because on one hand, I believe you, and on the other hand, you suffer from crippling ADD. So I'm
That's
like,
true, but on the other hand, the one movie they watched, and I was like, oh, that was pretty good, was Vertigo, I think.
oh yeah,
Like, oh, that was a good movie. Well, they're like, here's this ancient fucking Western that I've never heard of. And I'm like,
oh
bad.
yeah.
I can appreciate cinema. In 6th grade science class, they had us watch The Core.
Fuck is the core?
Bob's seen
the
the
core
core.
is when the core of the Earth is dying, so they have to dig under the Earth's crust and nuke it.
I don't think I've seen this, Dan.
You've not seen it?
I don't think
I
so.
thought you were the guy who knew about the core.
No.
Maybe that's aggro.
That's probably aggro. I was like, what?
Dan thinks
Don't
I
worry,
watched a movie I didn't watch.
It is certainly cursed content, I'm sure.
No, it's not. It's not that dear.
Movie
It's just
from like
mediocre.
the 50s?
I mean,
No, it's from like the early aughts.
yeah, no, it's like in the same era as Armageddon. Like, think that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have to nuke the core of the planet to restart it.
Which sounds like a
Like
Michael
dead.
Bay film. I don't think it is, but
Which movie was it where on the commentary is like, wouldn't it be easier to train astronauts to be drillers than train drillers to be astronauts? And the director just tells them to shut the fuck up.
That's Armageddon, I think.
yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Armageddon. Oh man. You know, Bob and I, while we're on the cinema tangent, Bob and I actually watched The Joker.
Yeah, we went to see that.
Oh,
We saw that
Rise
Did you
up.
buy a gun?
in the theater. Despite my mother's warnings that the news said something bad was going to happen, she warned my girlfriend of this at her job. My mother is like if the news channels had an echo wall. She's the result of whatever they yell, so she just kind of says what they say back. I spent most of that movie just going, you know what's a better character study of this sort of character? Nightcrawler. So to anyone who doesn't want to pay, theater prices to go watch Joker, just go watch Nightcrawler now. And then when Joker comes out on Redbox or whatever, watch it. Because I spent the film
man,
being
this
like,
movie has made a lot of money so far. A lot.
yeah,
Yes.
well, I mean, the annoyance of how the film was received by the media became fuel for some people to watch it, because you know how that is. The film's
I
fine.
feel like it was going to do really well no matter what, because it's tied to Batman, which is like the biggest media property on the planet.
Maybe, but I know a lot of people who saw that trailer and they're like, this doesn't seem like Batman. Which, I mean, they're not wrong. It doesn't seem like any Batman film they made.
So I would like to point out that Cuck, the movie about the guy who becomes a right-wing killer, I guess, released the same day as the Joker, box office $0.
Well, it's not in the Batman universe, and it doesn't. They don't have a movie director blowing smoke up their ass on Twitter and a bunch of people lining up to agree or disagree and be like, "Oh, comic book movies are art."
Well, Dan, you see, of course they could have tried to do that, but the official Cuck Movie Twitter account got suspended months before the movie came out. Because it was Cuck, the movie.
All right. I was going to say, if I had to give it a score out of 10, I would say 7 out of 10. It's a pretty solid film. There's a lot of good filmmaking in it, but the movie itself, like the content in it, the material, doesn't seem that great. Great performance, pretty great music, pretty great cinematography. It just felt like it didn't really do anything with its premise or develop in any interesting way. Bob, do you have anything to say?
Not really. I feel mostly the same about it. Like it ended up being basically what I expected. Like it didn't push the envelope in any direction. And yeah.
Did he say society?
He actually didn't?
No, he did.
Did he?
Yeah. It was a little weird.
Oh, I feel like he did because I feel like somebody posted a clip of the movie illegally that weekend. I think they cut in it with the "say the line, Bart" thing.
But yeah, no, Joaquin Phoenix's performance in it is really great. I haven't seen him in a bad movie yet, so that's not surprising.
Have you seen Her?
Yeah, I thought he was good in it.
I've never seen it. I'm just like, have you seen that? Because I just see that. I've never seen it. I just keep seeing the poster, and it makes me laugh every time.
Because he looks like a painfully huge hipster to even just look at.
And then just the word "her" in huge letters. It's really funny.
Pronouns often make Theo laugh.
No, that's not true. I'm very respectful.
H.
That's what
letters
that
often make Theo laugh.
Yes. T.
But yeah, no, Her's actually pretty excellent. I wouldn't be like, you have to go see it now. Nightcrawler's a better film than Her, but yeah. Yeah, no.
What's the last movie you saw that would make you go, you have to go see this now? I'm curious.
I really enjoyed John Wilk. I'm choking.
John Milk.
Yes, John Wilk.
Paramilitary.
I really enjoyed John Wick films. Off the top of my head, though, I don't fucking know, man. Honestly, I do think Nightcrawler's really excellent, but by the time I saw it, it was at least a couple of years old, so it'd feel weird to take to the streets and be like, "Watch Nightcrawler. It'll make you want to die."
Watch Only God Forgives.
No, I would never say that. There was only one person.
Serbian film.
There was only one person I would ever suggest watch Only God Forgives, and that's Fake Aggro because he's fucked up. He'd be like, "There's a lot of misery in this."
Cannibal Holocaust.
No. But yeah, that's about all I had to say about Joker. Theo, did you get out the thing you were gonna say?
Yeah.
Okay. Hey, Bob, what else did you play?
Oh, yeah. I also played the demo of Trials of Cold Steel 3 and realized that game is way too far into whatever it's doing. I have no idea what's going on.
Yeah, there's a 3-year time skip between 2 and 3, so you absolutely need to play those first two.
Yeah,
it's not
this fortress owned by these people, and then you're playing.
It's starting. It starts in media res. The first game does too. That's like the joke. That's like the gimmick. It starts like 70% of the way through the game, and then you go back to the beginning.
Oh, it's
wow.
out of order storytelling? That's really compelling.
No, it literally just starts in media res for one scene, and then you go back. And the rest is all just in order.
Oh.
But fucking Nippon Ichi Software of America was like, this is a great place to start. And I'm like, no, it isn't. You're literally starting in the middle. Please, we don't own the publishing rights to those first two games, so we don't make any money when you buy them. Please start here.
I mean, yeah, I'd do that too.
Casey, this is like saying Dream Drop Distance is the perfect place to start Kingdom Hearts.
Well, naturally, it would be. They have a glossary and summary of every Kingdom Hearts game in it.
Yeah, you're playing. They look like the characters from Kingdom Hearts 1. It might as well be a remake of the first game, right?
Yeah,
Casey?
and you also go through Traverse Town. Yeah,
it's all there.
You go through Traverse Town, and it has the best track in Dan's opinion. Also, you start with dabbing. Balanced out by the Dream Eater creation music.
I mean, that's just good music. That's a banger of a track.
It's way too much.
No, that track is incredible.
I also played Disgaea 4 plus complete whatever they call this new version on both Switch and PS4. I'm definitely buying that
Complete,
again.
I think.
Oh, good. You're buying it again.
Because it has all the stuff.
How many times?
This is only a second. I never buy the other re-releases because they end up being like weird. Like, I don't want to buy if it's only on the Vita. For some reason, I just didn't feel like doing that. And going through everything again when it was even a shorter amount of time between them. Like, that was... Yeah, now we're sitting like way more years since I played Disgaea 4. And that's still my favorite. It has Troy Baker as the main character. I forgot.
Blah.
It is assistant played by Patrick
he's
Seitz.
a vampire.
Blah.
But yeah, that's like my favorite cast in a Disgaea game. So I'm excited to do that and finally do the extra content. Because I eventually went back and bought it on the PS3, but then I was like, my PS3 is a pain to set up, and then it died. Yeah. Disgaea 4 was stuck on the PS3, but now it's finally leaving. And it seems like it runs fine. That's all I really care. Like,
it fucking better run fine. It's like PS1 polygon cubes and sprites.
Right. Like, it'd be insane if it didn't. But hey.
Well, they just put it in Unity and it goes down to like 6 frames a second.
I also booted Utoaramono Zon. That got a demo. That is a really, really bad Dynasty Warriors knockoff, I found out.
Yeah, that's what I heard.
That's depressing.
It's like the worst Dynasty Warriors knockoff I played, probably. It's everything just feels so wrong. Nice art, though. Some neat character designs, but oh man, it wasn't worth dealing with how floaty everything felt.
So is that all the...
one more.
Oh, okay.
Monster Boy and the Cursed Kingdom.
Oh, yeah, that's right. I saw you playing that demo.
Yeah, that was a kind of neat demo. Like, it's all hand-drawn graphics.
Yeah.
You get a cool little mechanic where you got your shield, so you actually just... That's always sitting in front of you, so as long as you're standing still, you can block fire or projectiles that are coming at you. And you have little 3-hit combo with your sword. It seemed neat. You could actually equip new items that affected you in real time. Like, you get heavy boots, kind of like in Zelda. You can put them on, like, walk at the bottom of the ocean and then take them back off to float back up. They're not lots of neat little details. Like, while your character is stuck at the bottom of the ocean, he has a frowny face. And then he take out the boots and he smiles and he floats back.
He's like, oh, good. I'm not going to drown.
It's like, oh, I'm not drowning.
Splendid. This is a good way.
I was interested in this because the first one, which was just a remake of it was Monster Boy and the Dragon's Trap.
Yeah,
it was like, oh, this looks really good, but it's a Master System game.
Yeah.
So like, there's a game feel issue there, and I was curious, like, okay, they're making something that isn't restrained by that. So I am curious if that's really good or not.
Yeah, it felt okay. The only problem I really had with it is whenever you kill something, the item it drops, it like shoots it straight up. So you have to wait for it to come back down after you kill it, and it's just kind of like, that's a little weird. It just makes it
like sniping for skill credits.
What?
Stop talking about
that's
from Ghost Recon Breakpoint.
I still haven't had time to play that.
But yeah, that's everything
me
I
too.
played.
Just too busy. I was too busy to sit down and play that.
But you played some of it.
I did last week. I decided to not talk about it too much because I was getting assaulted by Mother Nature during that episode.
Ah, yes.
I played some things, a couple of things.
Sure.
So I was in the middle of modding our PS2 to take SD cards as a format to play games off of. This was a very interesting project to work through and apparently had a problem, but we'll get to that later. Once I finally got it working, which requires you to mount the SD card as a normal hard drive to your computer, because it will then, after you get the PS2 to format it as though it's a normal hard drive, only programs run in administrative privilege mode will be able to even see the damn drive, because it is formatted by a PS2, and so Windows doesn't know what the hell to do with it, and Windows doesn't give direct hardware access to any program that isn't run in administrative privilege mode. Anyway, once I got that working, I got to try out some interesting games. Some games Bob and I have been waiting over 10 years to try. Bob, tell them about Demon Chaos.
God, Demon Chaos. The game advertised... is having 1,000 enemies on screen on the PS2.
Yeah, the 360 was out.
no.
I bet that
It's
works.
like 1,000 enemies, and we're like, bullshit. And then the trailer shows it, and you're like, no way.
And then we played
Kingdom
it.
Hearts
like,
had 1,000
way.
enemies on screen,
It did.
sort of.
It did. There were sprites in the background, except for 20 of them most of the time, but it's still.
And that's not the same.
Yeah, it's not really.
They just had to load them in, and that was after they heavily cut a bunch of enemies out of it.
So,
but,
Bob,
it's fine.
how did Demon Chaos deliver on the promise of 1,000 enemies on screen?
There were a lot of enemies on screen. They were all the same little gray bug.
Yeah, that's about what I'd expect.
But impressively, they were 3D models.
It
and
was
they animated.
It ran well.
It ran really well, which was weird because the trailer we watched way back in the day was like, this was, guys, you got to understand, this was 2006. Game trailers would upload things in a high quality 240p QuickTime video if you were lucky.
Yeah, and you could get some really good stuff off of IGN directly.
Yeah, as it turns out, IGN used to have a purpose back then. Yeah, they
what the purpose of game trailers was back in the day.
yeah, just
They had video.
yeah, IGN also had like more direct connections, so you could find some stuff from them that you couldn't find in other places.
And now IGN bought game trailers.
I know, it's fucking weird. Just to have a YouTube channel that's slowly uploading their back catalog.
That is really weird.
Yeah, they finished uploading like all the old catalog, and now they just upload any new video game trailer that ever comes out.
I'm looking at this footage and it has a very strong Sengoku Basara energy.
I have to see the quality of videos of this game on the internet because the first thing I
it's
did
bad. It's nowhere near Dan.
the first thing I did when we got it booting
Course
successfully and played it was go, Bob, there's no way there's a good video of this on the internet. Dude, this dude's running it in an emulator and it still doesn't look good. Like its frame rate is decimated to half frame. Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh man, I just remembered how much the intro made us fucking laugh our asses off. God, that intro was weird as hell. Remember, Bob, it does like 3 time skips or teleports and whatever.
It's just like, why is it like this? Why would you have introduced them in the present? Go to the past, go to the future, go back to the present.
All within like 6 minutes of an intro, if even, and
Yeah, you don't even play.
and then out of nowhere appears a giant tiger dude who's just like, "What's up? I'ma protect you." Now this house is gonna talk to us. So the house starts glowing with
now
energy.
the house is gonna preach to us.
Yeah. So then the house starts glowing with energy and screaming shit like your days as a mortal shall end until you complete this duty. This game was very well translated, I would like to note.
Yeah, it was a European release only. We never got in the States.
Yeah, it went to Europe, didn't come here. I don't know how it even went to Europe, to be honest. But we finally got to play Demon Chaos. We got to keep moving, though. You know what else we got to play that we've been waiting 10 years to play?
You know what we should have played? Shinobi Do. Oh well.
It's okay. After I say what the conclusion of this modding journey was, that'll, tie into that. We also played a fighting game we've been waiting a really long time to play, gentlemen. The Sengoku Basara Guilty Gear dev game, wherein it is just fucking Guilty Gear made with the Devil Kings / Sengoku Basara characters.
Raw.
This exists?
Yeah, it's Sengoku Basara X.
Yeah, it's in the same era as the Fist of the North Star 2D game from them.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So it's seemingly really bad.
Yeah, it's really clunky. The health bars are like probably twice as big as they should be.
So it's kind of weird.
I have never even heard of this, so I'm not surprised it's bad.
Yeah. Bob and I watched a lot of trailers for things that didn't come over to the States back then and just sort of went, man.
Clinched their fists at the sky.
Yeah. Like, God damn
Just
it.
the Arthur image.
They should talk to Capcom and put these characters into cross-tag.
They would look so bad.
They're probably way too low res for that.
Yeah.
Look at the Fist of the Star ones and 2. It's fine.
The weird thing is, I don't know why, but the whole game was desaturated and blurry.
Yeah, it looked strangely worse than any of their other games.
It was like they were trying to achieve some sort of look with the game, and they failed miserably because it just looked like shit. It's weird. It's really weird. Did we play any other PS2 games of note, Bob? I feel like we played some other stuff. Oh, unfortunately, Fake Aggro was in a room with me and Bob and Spaceman Spiff. And, we did that PS1 roulette with Spaceman Spiff where he was subjected to Bubsy. Bob, as he's going to sleep, just fucking goes, hey, Fake Aggro, there's Bubsy 3D on that PSIO. You should play Bubsy 3D. And Fake Aggro's like, okay. And Spaceman looked like he wanted to kill himself to get out of the goddamn room.
And then he just repeated the Bubsy 3D game over thing where it's a loud glass shattering of Bubsy.
Yes. Yeah, no, it was terrible, and Bob's a bastard. After Fake Aggro played that for 20 minutes, and I eventually said, dude, please stop. He played a game, it was funny, I was like, hey man, we can check out a bunch of new games we've never been able to play before. What do you want to check out? And he's like, Tenchu 2, Dragon Seeds, this other game, I can't remember what the other game was, but I'm like, Fake Aggro, we own all of those games. You could have been playing this for the last 14 years. What are you doing, man? It's like we offered him the ability to check out anything, and he's just listing shit in my CD folder. Anyway, he checked out a childhood favorite of mine, Dragon Seeds, a great game where you genetically engineer a dragon, or a door that they call a dragon, or an ogre they call a dragon. Or any number of things they call dragons.
I feel like Dragon Seed was probably an inappropriate name for this game.
It was a fantastic name for this game because it did feature dragons, and I may have not known if they didn't name it Dragon Seeds, Bob. And then we watched Fake Aggro. In this game, it's a competitive tournament structure where you train your little dragon, you give it weapons, and you go fight at like an arena to make money. I watched him let 3 different fucking dragons die because it is an insta-kill game. When you're dead, you're a permadeath game. You're just fucking dead. So it's depressing. This is how actualized it is in this game. Your dragon dies at a tournament. The person who greeted you and let you in goes, oh, that's sad. Here's $12. And then you go home to your Zoloft-powered apartment that has no shades of colors other than gray, and you have to sleep a whole day so that way the nursery can open up and you can make another dragon. It is the most depressing shit in the world.
Gray box.
Yes.
You eat your cabbage soup. Crawl under your thin blanket on your concrete bed.
Yeah. No.
You take your Ambien and then sleep.
Yeah, that's really how it
Dan
feels.
after this.
Between the visuals of your apartment and the soundtrack, it's just it really is that powerful. It's this terrible feeling of like, normally it's not, this dragon I've had for 5 minutes. I made my friends watch me name it and then spec it out and then hand it these weapons, and then it just fucking died because I won't restart the game with a proper amount of money to train a fresh dragon. I keep training it on $12 because that's all I got from the lady at the entrance after my last dragon died. Normally I've had this dragon for hours now and it's dead, and then you go home to your empty apartment and you sleep for days. And there's a button in the menu in there to sleep for an entire day. I feel like that prepared me for life. I was like, okay, someday my pet dragon dies, I'll just go home and sleep a week. Dragon Seeds, great game. Terrible being trapped in a room with a maniac with that game.
We also played some Project Justice.
Not ideal.
Oh, yeah, Bob. We should note and this is now last Friday, but we got our Dreamcast back with the HDMI mod, and it looks fucking stellar. Like, the thing looks incredible.
Yeah, it's so clean.
I cannot wait for the PS2 to get a fucking HDMI mod because it looks unreal levels of crystal clear, beautiful colors, etc., etc. But Bob, we played a game called what?
Project Justice.
So Bob and other people played a game called Project Justice as I finished the PS2 mod.
Yes.
How did
that game is insane. It's made by
it's made by Capcom.
Yeah, it's made by Capcom. Same director as Devil May Cry and Power Stone.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so it's got some really good character designs and some insane team up attacks. Like we were just messing around.
Rival Schools 2?
Yeah, that's Rival Schools 2.
Yeah. It takes place at high schools and stuff. Your team is comprised of anime school stereotypes. I think everyone's favorite was the swimmer.
Yeah, the swimmer's insane.
He wears flippers to the match, and his super involves swimming around in the concrete, making the enemy do synchronized swimming with you like it's an Olympic sport.
I really like the gym teacher who forces you to do push-ups.
We didn't see that one. We did see the class rep who brings out a bulletin board where she teaches you about health, and you get your health goes up.
Yeah, it has like anatomy on it, and she's pointing at it and just says like it's labeled like good, bad, good. She's pointing at it, and you get health points or whatever. That game's insane and hilarious. I hope someone picks it on one of these console roulette streams because it's so good. Having finished the Dreamcast mod, the only console left to get modded by the end of this year, and technically until they invent the PS1 HDMI mod thing, is the Wii. So, and then someone's like, why are you modding the Wii for HDMI? That console sucks. What's worth value on there? And I'm like, hey man, you know, it may have bad games, but let me tell you how much I want to have the best looking video on the internet of Sonic and the Secret Rings while I shit talk that game.
See, I thought you were going to say, listen, let me tell you, it also plays GameCube games.
It's true. It does also play GameCube games, and we don't have a way to play GameCube games without the disc, which sounds like, oh, Dan wants to use it for piracy. No, our copy of Wave Race won't run on our fucking GameCube. It's upsetting.
I was trying to think of like
I want to play
games that you could have the highest quality footage of for the Wii, and I'm like, Seen It Twilight Edition.
Oh, I was thinking more franchises people would know, entries they wouldn't. So Soul Calibur Legends.
No.
Is that like the action game one?
Where you play as Siegfried and use your Wiimote to swing his big old sword.
I've never played it. I'm excited.
Also, I'm sure there's like some Star Wars game on there, whether or not they let you use the Wiimote as a fucking lightsaber.
Oh yeah, there's Star Wars lightsaber duels set in the Clone Wars animated show universe.
Yeah, I definitely recalled that because like I remember people talking about it. I'm like, that's gonna be bad. Why are you hyped?
They also made a Force Unleashed version on there.
Also, there's Wii Sports Resort, which has a much better lightsaber thing.
Yes.
So we just need 2 Motion Plus controllers so we can duel. The Wii Sport Resort gets undersold a lot. I feel like people didn't appreciate that game enough because it required you to buy an attachment for a controller.
Yeah.
Wasn't there no way to buy the game without that attachment? Well, I guess you could buy it used or something. But
you needed it
packaged in.
You needed the attachment to do anything in the game, so
right.
I understand.
And some people are like, "Oh, that's expensive," but I don't know. Like everything I played from that game felt really cool, except for the Sea-Doo.
Yeah, the bicycles were bad, but
I didn't even remember a bicycle. I just remembered the Sea-Doo. It's just like, what the fuck is with these controls?
So that's 2 games that were just bad, but the rest of it was fine.
But the lightsaber more than makes up. The rest of the game could... Plus, it has the original Wii Sports stuff in there, but it's better with Wii Motion Plus.
Yeah, it has most of it. Yeah. Like, instead of golf, you get disc golf, which is really good.
I thought they had both, but yeah, disc golf is just better than golf. Yeah. I mean, Sports Champions on the fucking PS3 knew that.
Yeah.
Or Sports Champs. What the fuck?
I don't think he had boxing. So you didn't get all the old stuff. It was mostly new stuff, but luckily they knew to put bowling in. Like, they couldn't make a game without bowling.
When are we doing the Giving Games a Chance Sports Champions 2?
Yeah, I can't believe we never played it.
Yeah, we never did once. That's pretty weird. For those who don't know, Sports Champions is a PlayStation game for the PlayStation Move that is just trying to be Wii Sports. And that's fine because the gladiator thing was really fun and the bocce ball thing was really fun.
When I think of PlayStation Move, I just think of when they said, "Here's our Ratchet, Jack and Daxter, Sly Cooper game where they all come together," and I heard it was terrible.
Oh, you mean PlayStation Heroes on the Move?
Yes.
What?
Yeah, PlayStation Heroes on the Move.
We're combining all of our big ones from last gen, and I heard nothing good about it at all.
Oh yeah, that's one of our most angry quick plays we've ever done.
I gotta go watch that.
Maybe.
Is it too old that I won't be able to watch it?
No, it's up. It's 8 years old. The audio quality is bad because I'm nowhere near the mic because I have to swing my arms around and shit.
Is the game that Giant Bomb did videos of where it's rider meet horse, horse meet rider, was that a PlayStation Move game or a Kinect game?
I have no idea what you're talking about, but that sounds funny.
Let me Google it because it became a meme for a while. Okay, it was Motion Sports. It was a Kinect game.
Oh, okay. I mean, that's what I was going to say when you asked. I'm like, I don't know. That sounds kind of like a Kinect game.
Those Kinect games were just vile.
Yeah, all of them. Dude, all of those Kinect games, other than, what's it, Let's Dance? What's the name of the...
Dance Central.
Dance Central. Anything Dance Central's fine. Anything outside of that is literally PlayStation Heroes on the Move tier. All of them. All of them are that tier. Which was the bottom of the barrel for fucking PlayStation Move, honestly. Remember that Ape Escape game they made for the Move?
Yeah, that was actually pretty fun. I wish I played the full version.
I own it.
Huh.
We have the Move controllers in the living room because Eric returned the VR setup.
Huh.
You know what comes out tomorrow, Bob?
What's that, Dan?
Ring Fit Adventures.
Yes. I actually do want to play that.
Thinking about that GIF again.
God, I can't
Ring Fit Adventures, a sweaty, perspiration-filled adventure.
By Ebb Software?
I did not know you...
Somber tapestries?
You had to fight...
Somber abs.
you have to fight buff dragons.
Yeah,
who challenge you to the fitness challenge. That's
dragons.
Right.
Yeah, it's hilarious. Yeah, no, that game's cool as shit. I am legit getting that game tomorrow.
Got in.
Absolutely getting that game. That game looks really fun.
One of the few podcasts that isn't like, we're a Nintendo-centric podcast that's going to talk about that game with impressions of it.
Yeah. It's a shame. I feel like anytime Nintendo does anything remotely weird, most podcasts are just like, Nintendo did a dumb thing again. You know, kind of like the cardboard stuff. Labo.
Yeah. Labo.
Yeah. Which Labo's really neat. It's just not for me because I'm bad with my hands for constructing stuff, you know?
We just have no room, too. Like,
also that, Jesus Christ, the last thing this place needs is more cardboard.
Yeah.
I look forward to the video of Bob laying on his back, kicking his legs.
I bet there are some people in the fan base who would really appreciate that video. That video is for our $500 main GigaBoots Patreon tier. Just look for the tier.
It's gonna be when Phil comes over, he'll be wearing jorts.
Yeah, just look for the Patreon tier on the main GigaBoots Patreon called Bob on Main. Just look for that and sign up for the $500
it's
a month.
$65,000.
Good Lord.
Oh man. Yeah, no, that game looks really fun. I don't know if I'm gonna stream it. I want to stream it, but I don't know if I'm gonna stream it. I'll figure it out. Bob, are you gonna stream it?
No, I don't think so.
Oh, well, that's unfortunate. Bob, are you gonna do a video of it?
I mean, I don't know, Dan. Are we gonna do a video?
Maybe once a month for $65,000. I can't think of anything else interesting, but I'll go ahead and end the PS2 mod story. So, putting that puff back on. So we're hooking an SD card into a circuit board that has SATA ports on it. We're hooking a SATA into USB 3.0 converter to that and hooking it up to the computer. Guys, the transfer speed on this thing sucks so much shit. It's like 2.5 megabytes a second. Do you know how long a 4 gigabyte game takes to fucking transfer at that speed? So I was like, hey, I got an idea. Let's take out one step of the bottleneck. I'll just hook this SATA-enabled SD card adapter thing straight into the fucking motherboard, and I'll boot the computer as though this is a hard drive that's just there. Still had that speed. Apparently, the bottleneck was the thing turning the SD card into a SATA hard drive. So, begrudgingly, I ordered a network adapter with the SATA port on it and ordered a fucking solid state drive to stick in my PS2. I ain't dealing with that shit. I'm not dealing with 2.5 megabytes per second transfer speeds. Fuck that. I'd rather buy a solid state drive. So now Our PS2 will have a solid state drive in it before the current mainstream PlayStation. We beat it by 1 year, Bob.
Proud.
Nice.
Probably not going to make games run any better, but if we tried to install those games on hard drives, they actually could experience issues compared to a flash-based medium. Because, those games were designed specifically around how long it took on the disc to bring the head from one spot to another. So, after this podcast, I'm going to go finish that mod. Luckily, I learned a lot from my adventures in SD Town.
I'm sure it has 100% compatibility.
It actually has way better compatibility than the PSIO. You know how we know? We booted Tony Hawk and it worked. There you go.
I was gonna say Final Fantasy VII, but it's PS2, so it'd be like Dirge of Cerberus.
Come on, man. There's fucking
It's not Final Fantasy VII. It's got gacked.
I mean, it is Final Fantasy VII, so they say. I actually...
Do you mean it has Bob?
Yeah, it has Bob. Gacked.
But no. Excited that mod's finally done. Really excited the Dreamcast mod is done. Looking forward to finding a Wii that is compatible with this Wii HDMI mod. Because that is a specific ordeal, as it turns out. It always is. So if anyone ever wonders where the fuck the money for the streams and shit goes, that's where. I'm just like, we gotta buy this specific Wii to get it modded. Now we need this HDMI. What do you mean Analog announced a new console? But what have you been playing, Phil?
So I played a demo too. I played the Sage 2019 demo for Pizza Tower.
Oh.
Which is a indie game inspired by Wario Land, where you play an incredibly anxious pizza chef, like an Italian chef stereotype, running around a castle and pile driving pizza wizards.
Gabagool.
I will link something from the Twitter account because it just has a Twitter account that like posts memes sometimes.
Mm-hmm.
So it's you probably should have you might have seen the character at some point. But it's pretty good. It is a lot like Wario Land, like you get hit by enemies and you'll like one will turn you into a wizard. Turn you into a knight, and you can't move very fast and you jump less high and you instantly fall down staircases because the armor's so heavy. And you have a shoulder charge, and once you get up enough speed, you can run up walls and break through big blocks, and you can like do a shine spark like from Super Metroid. You get going at top speed, and then you just hit up. Except he like scrunches down to the ground, and you can adjust your position so it's actually a little bit better than the shine spark. It also has Sonic wearing a Mario hat, whose name is Snicks the Porcupine. Who I think is pretty funny because he's like he's Sonic, but he's just like a blue slice of pizza with feet.
Oh my god.
With feet.
Like that video features him.
Yeah, I'm seeing that thing.
Yeah, okay. That is a somewhat realistic styled hedgehog.
Peppino is dead.
That's pretty good.
That's the name of the chef guy, Peppino. And you go through the stage and you collect pizza toppings, and when you knock a big Moai head looking block down, shit goes ape shit and a timer appears and it's like, get to the exit. And you have to rush back to the beginning of the level, kind of like Wario Land 4. But that's pretty good. It's just like 3 levels. It's a short little demo. I'm excited for the main game now because I had seen various people retweet the jokes the creator made. Like there's a button in the demo that just makes him Peppino pose. And one of the poses is the Peter Griffin pose, and it plays the first line of the Family Guy theme when you hit the button. Not the first line, but like the first sound.
What? Is this on Kickstarter or
That's
something, or is
pretty
this
good.
just happening? Like these making?
Oh, it's just an indie game that's happening. They've been developing it for a while. They just put out a demo in the past like month.
Nice.
I also played Tony Hawk Project 8 on PS3.
Oh, that's cool. How did that go for you?
Fine. WoW, the PS2 version is like garbage.
It really is. I did more research into that. Boy.
It feels so bad.
Here's a really good example from Rad Rat, which is a skateboarding YouTube channel who reviewed every Tony Hawk game. I guess except for the Game Boy Advance. Anyways, Bob, one of the first goals you may recall from Tony Hawk Project 8, you start in that little small street area.
In the suburbs.
In the suburbs. You do a grind all the way up one end of the street, make the circle, and go all the way back if you want to hit the higher tier stuff.
Right, okay.
They stole the exact way it was set up from Project 8, but guess what? The physics are nowhere near the fucking same, so it is so fucking hard to land.
Wow.
It is. I played both. I played the PS2 version for a little while, but not only that, the PS2 version just feels like shit because your stats are so low, and I put in a cheat to max them out, and I was like, this still doesn't feel good.
Oh, yeah.
Meanwhile, I put in the PS3 one, and it feels good immediately.
Yeah, no, the PS3 version of Project 8 is so good.
I do think the PS2 version has some interesting things that the PS3 version does not have.
Mm-hmm.
Like the PS2 version has when you're doing something, when you grind and then do something that isn't grinding in the same combo, it'll like fade out the balance meter, but you can still see it, so you're gonna know where the arrow is when you start grinding again. So if it's way off to the side, once you start grinding again, it will start there.
Yeah, you'll know you're ready to fall on your ass if you don't look out.
And then it has stuff like in the PS3 version, there's these things called spot challenges, which is just like manual for half a mile past these marks. And in the PS2 version, they're challenges you have to trigger, so there's a video showing you what to hit. And in the PS3 version, it's just like explore, do it 100 times until you figure out where you're supposed to go. Which I actually I don't know. I'm really not sure which of those I like more, because I like the idea of it being seamless and you don't have to like trigger an NPC to do the challenge.
Mm-hmm.
But at the same time, I'd like to know where the fuck to go, please.
Right, that would be ideal.
Boy, Project 8 is a ball buster, though.
Is it?
Yeah, because you go to do the competition, and it's like, you have 30 seconds. How many points you get determines what bracket you're in. Amateur bracket, 35,000 points. I'm like, okay, what's pro? 250,000.
Yeah.
What's the highest level? 600,000. 30 seconds. Go.
Yeah.
And then when you get the how much you have to score in the competition is like 4 times that in a minute and a half. So it's like, get 3 million points in 90 seconds. I kind of figured out what they want out of you, though, because I mean, maybe they actually want you to be some kind of deity, but the solution I came up with was I do a bunch of special tricks to make my base score really high.
Mm-hmm.
And then I stall on a rail and turn on the slow motion and just keep balancing while dancing on the board. Because you can just mash the face buttons to keep shifting your pose.
Yes.
And you can get up to 30 multiplier really fast. And then I can get like 800,000 points in a combo.
Yeah, that's a pretty good way to do that in a Tony Hawk game. That, manuals, flip tricks, but yeah, that's a really good way to just raise the
I do like the manual in this, because it was kind of like this in American Wasteland and Thug, but it's like, you do not lose any speed in a manual, so you can get into a half pipe and just manual between the two sides as much as you want. You will never slow down.
Yeah, it's great. The game feel of Project 8's really good. The frame rate is not.
Yeah. There's all these challenges where it's like, hey, I'm going to videotape you, which means in the corner of the screen, there's going to be a second camera angle of you, which doesn't serve any purpose beyond making it run like shit.
Yeah, that part's really shitty. It's so awful. Why did they think they could pull that off?
Right. Like, concept-wide, I think it's neat.
Project 8 has a really good tone that I feel like they abandoned for the next game, and I'm like, this is like the tone that Tony Hawk should have had going forward, where it's like GTA Light almost.
Yeah, where you just
where it's like, hey sport, I'm your dad. I'm gonna shag these balls. You should go shag my balls for me, and you have to like do tricks over half pipes to catch the golf balls he hits. And then they have like the one-eyed fascist school security guard who you have to own so the kids can get out of school.
Yeah, I think that thing struck a really good balance of it's immature and goofy, but not overly egregiously repugnant like some of the entries right before it.
It doesn't feel like it's assaulting you.
Yeah.
I would like to point out that in the Tony Hawk games, everybody is against you except one group. Unionized construction workers. This isn't Project 8, this is American Wasteland, because I played a little bit more of that, but there's so many missions in American Wasteland are like, my boss told me to do something on my lunch break, so I'm gonna need you to do an ollie and knock down this building for me to fuck him. When you do it, I'll have the boys drag it back to your skate park on the company dime. Fuck them.
Yep. No, it's pretty funny.
Last thing on Project 8. Fuck the Bam Margera challenge.
I can't remember it. It's been 13 years.
You jump down a hole and you automatically bail, and Project 8 has the really weird thing it's like when you bail, you ragdoll, and you can control the ragdoll, and there's like a hospital bill meter.
Burnout stole that later. Burnout Paradise?
Saints Row 2 also stole that later.
I believe that shows up in Skate.
Neversoft or Pioneers. Yeah, actually, it does, doesn't it?
But yeah. His is like, bail off this thing 400 feet in the air and land on this dumpster, and I'm like, you have no control over yourself. You just told me, just do this and hope it works out. I had to do it like 70 times.
Good lord.
Luckily, it only took like 5 seconds a try, or else I would have fucking walked. But it was just like, nope, I flew up. This time I didn't fly far enough. The next time I flew 400 feet past it. I didn't do anything different on the input end.
Physics.
I also like how every area of the game has a classic challenge. Like, it has a set of classic goals.
I'm trying to remember.
I don't like how to get the best score on the classic stages, you have to do all 10 goals in one run.
Oh, yeah, I don't even like that, and I'm a fucking Tony Hawk maniac. I never enjoyed that. I did it a few times, but I don't enjoy it.
If you can do fine if you just get pro. If you want to get sick, you have to be some kind of deity at Tony Hawk, because some of these just seem impossible.
Oh yeah, the sick shit was literally designed for people who are going to be playing it religiously, aka me. That game really was a lifestyle when it came out, like every day.
But yeah, it's real good. Well, I'll talk about that when we get to news. The final thing I played Untitled Goose Game.
Oh.
I don't have a whole lot to say about it. You really only have you have 3 ways to interact with the world. Do things on a list.
Yeah.
I do wish it had a little bit. It had like secret goals or something, because I did something really funny, and then I'm like, oh, I have to undo this to actually do the things on the list. Because the first area is like there's a gardener in a garden, in a locked garden.
Mm-hmm.
So what I did was I convinced him to come out. Then I closed the gate and it locked, and then I stole his keys and threw them in the lake.
Yeah, no, it's pretty great.
Fucking
but that
goose.
doesn't give you anything. I had to bring him his keys back to do more goals.
Who gives a shit? You're just a goose.
I do think it's really funny that the end of that arc is him just putting up a sign that says no geese.
Yes. I mean, that's the correct stance. Geese are
It does nothing to stop you, and you can immediately just pull the sign out of the ground.
thus further ruining this poor gardener's life.
Scaring children with the goose.
But that's everything I played.
Okay, KZ, what have you been up to over the last week?
I played a little bit more of Yooka-Laylee and the Impossible Lair. At this point, I have more than half the levels done, and I have a decent feel of the game overall by this point. Now, I had some concerns of like, I wonder if the collectathon stuff will end up getting a bit more aggressive toward the end to get everything, and turns out no. There are paywalls that are run by Trouser, the snake wearing pants, and he'll up the amount of coins that you collect throughout the levels to give you a new area filled with levels to go engage with, and he wants less than half to get access to everything, which is pretty decent. The rest of them end up going for little extra things like, hey, I want to hold a barbecue. Can you give me 30 more of these coins? And then you do it, and his house catches on fire.
Jesus.
And then he says, "Hey, can I have 99 more coins so I can rebuild my home?" and then they literally say, "That's the rest of the coins in the game, dude." And he's like, "Yeah, I know." And I was like, "That's a really good bit." Because the first reward he gives you for the barbecue was he would give you a 4th tonic. Because, you have 3 slots for it to put in various things. And it gives it to you. It is a tonic that lets you have a 4th tonic slot, which means it's useless. Because it fills its own slot that it makes for you.
Oh, that's fucking vile.
Which I have to assume you get the real 4th tonic slot because there's a trophy tied to it when you do the real final one. But I'm like, God damn you.
That's mean. That's really mean.
I do like the fact that burning down his house reveals a pathway to the final set of levels in the game, which are the harder ones. It has like a factory theme for some of them and some airship stuff. So I've gotten a good feel of what the game considers the hard stuff. And it's all really good. I have no real problem with how the game doles out challenge. This feels incredibly polished in terms of like the things it throws at you. A lot of different like level themed type stuff. There was one level that had a pseudo combat room in it where it kind of just doled out enemies in some waves on an airship, and I thought that was pretty interesting. There's one where the airship is it's like an auto-scrolling airship, and there's a lot of obstacles, and it's all just been really great. Still haven't beaten its final level yet. It's very long and really challenging. It feels like the Lost World challenges from Donkey Kong Country 2, which were also had the tendency to bust your balls a lot. But yeah, really, really satisfied with that. It's the more I play it, the more I go, oh man, this is like really, really good in a way where I was looking for something acceptable after their last game, but this is just incredibly solid. They said that their staff and the people working there, like a lot more people were hired in between games, and you can tell because they were a team of like 6 or 7 people back in 2015, and now they're like in the mid 30s, and you can tell they definitely improved in between games.
Well, that's good.
Yeah, I'm excited to try that. I really do want to give it a shot sometime.
Or a chance.
Because I was super cynical and like, oh, whatever, when they announced the game, because I'm like, oh, the last one wasn't good. and I'm like, oh god, this doesn't look particularly great, because I had the concerns of like the background blending into the foreground and you just being bad at it. Also, whether or not it runs well. And then they blew my ass up because the game's like probably like an 8.5 or maybe a 9. Depends on like your mileage may vary, but the movement feels good. The challenge feels fair. It feels like they made a type of game that they know how to make entirely.
Soundtrack's really good too.
Oh yeah, because David Wise is doing all the level themes from what I can tell.
David Wise is the shit.
It's always been the shit.
I heard the world map music is done by the other one. Is that correct?
Yes, Grant Kirkhope, the other one.
Yeah, Kurt Cobain, we know.
Grant Kirkhope, one of the greatest composers of our
he's
time.
not coming back.
One of the greatest composers of gum commercials of our time.
I feel
I will say though, even
we're the reverse Giant Bomb, where they say David Wise sucks and Grant Kirkhope is great.
We must bring balance to the force.
And Final Fantasy VII was the moment to get out of our JRPGs, and Indivisible is meme humor. That's right. That all tracks.
It was a good time to get out of those.
All Whopper.
I still don't.
Stopped. No. All Junior Bacon Cheeseburger.
An entire 4x4.
Ooh. So I played one more game this week because I don't want to count Fire Emblem because that's continuing to not leave me alone, and I'd love it to.
Just one more route.
Every time I go home, there's Fire Emblem.
My audience will shoot me if I stop now, so I have to do the third route. So it's another 40 fucking hours is going to be eaten up in my time.
Oh, that's tragic, KZ. If only you were playing an enjoyable game for your audience, like Mighty Number 9.
Or Detroit.
I thoroughly enjoy what I'm playing, but then you reach parts in that game where it's like you have supports to do, and they're the voice acted segments where they talk, and sometimes it's 40 minutes straight of it.
Watch an hour of anime, basically.
They're like, hey, you ready to deep throat the plot boy? And you're like, no.
And it's
Please
not
go
even
away.
the plot. It's just, here are these characters interacting with each other. This one's like, go away. People told me you're rapey. He's like, oh, no, I'm not. Okay, well, don't come closer. I don't know.
Wow, that's Okay.
Fine.
Anyways,
that character's fine. He learns his lesson.
I'm glad you're enjoying Fire Emblem. You said you were playing something else.
Okay. The Jackbox Party Pack 6 came out today. I did a stream before we started doing the podcast, so I was able to play 2 of those games. Because they have packs of 5. They come out every year. I played Trivia Murder Party 2, which is my favorite of those games they've ever done. And this version is a better version of that in every respect. Concept, a serial killer has trapped you in a hotel. He will make you answer obscure trivia questions. You get money if you get them right. If you're wrong, you must play a mini game that if you fail, you die. And they have loaded numerous new mini games in those, or just events.
Yeah.
One of them, I was the only one who got the question wrong. He's like, I've got presents, and you pick a present. And I'm like, okay. And he's like, all right, open it. It's a stick of dynamite. And he said, okay, this is my time bomb. So it had set to 20 seconds. You're now going to be timed when you answer your questions. And it'll blow up. And I answered a question. It took me 4 seconds. That time carries over. So until the final round, I had this risk of I have to answer shit quick or I'll just die because of this bomb that is now strapped to my character.
Oh my god, that's hilarious.
I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I actually ran into a different item in the gift box. By the way, I also played that game today.
Okay.
It was a fucking knife. And the person who pulls out the knife's just like, and then he goes, it's a knife. That's my grandmother Despair's knife. It's a nice knife. You can keep it. And then there's just this moment where it hangs to make you go, wait, he didn't make them do anything fucked up with it. And every person who wasn't that person left the play field. And then he's like, oh, you thought I was going to have you do something? I'm just kidding. It pulls all of those people back in and he's like, these people need to cut off one of their fingers with that knife. And whatever finger you cut off, you cannot select that answer on the trivia for the entire rest of the game.
Oh my god.
So at one point it's like
that's a sequel. That's a sequel to one of the games in the original game where they're like, it's fingers. Everyone who got a question wrong has to cut one off. That is amazing.
there's a fucking question that comes up 2 questions later. And it's like, what is a Scoville a measurement of? And since I cut off my middle finger, the middle finger response is hotness and peppers. And I'm like, fuck you. Damn it. Everyone's like, what an easy question. And I'm like, I am so mad.
This just sounds like a trivia game, but you're an asshole.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it was fantastic. That person, by the way, got to keep that knife. They kept the knife for the whole rest of the match. And then that person died second to last round, actually. And it was like, okay, you have 5 seconds to choose what player you're giving the knife to. And I'm like, what the fuck? Why is this knife sticking around?
I adore this game because we did a round. We got the questions right. Everyone who is alive got a question right, which means you can't do a minigame event. Moves on, does another question. They're like, you got it right again. You're about to learn. And then they made everyone do a minigame because he was mad we got it right again.
Oh,
and
that's
he said,
funny.
Fuck you. You're doing it anyway. And my favorite one that came up was the room was dark. A TV appeared. Turned on. It was Quiplash, and he said, whatever, we're just playing a game of Quiplash. And then they make you play the other Jackbox game, Quiplash, and made a joke that no one liked any of the other games in the pack that it was released on.
Yep.
They brought back the old announcer, and you could tell that they've said, all right, your direction here is that the serial killer has a gun to your head as you narrate this round.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Incredible.
Bob, the one we played, the Jackbox we played, Quiplash was the only good game on it.
Oh.
Like, so the fact they're making jokes about that's pretty funny.
Yeah, because that's just... There's some good self-aware humor here that I really liked. And then the final round is... one person is alive, you have to run away by clicking all the answers that apply. And everyone you get right, you move forward. And then the ghosts get an additional answers so they can catch up to you and steal your body. They added 2 new twists. One, people in last place, there's like a creeping darkness that's trying to get you. Now it's so much more aggressive. The audience can now win. They represent a thing, so I guess they just vote majority rule on the answers.
Yep.
And the one that made me lose my mind, they said, oh man, you're right next to the exit. In this game now, you must get every single part of this question correct 100% to leave. And they show like this weird energy field on the door.
Yeah, because
before you could just slip by before.
Yeah, what it'll do is it'll ask you a question like the Persian Empire covers, and then it'll be 3 different things you can answer, and it's a checkbox. So you need to select all of them that apply or not select any if none of them apply. And you have to get everything 100% correct to escape at all. And
it's really good.
And if the people who died catch up, they steal your body. You could steal it back. It's pretty good. It's pretty good.
Yeah. And if it's like a tie of 2 people land on the same spot as you, it's just whoever was winning, whoever has the most money at the time gets priority.
Oh,
and
okay.
it's the best of those games that they've put together. And I'm so glad that they have improved it to this degree. I've seen the little video feed that trailers some things that I'm like, there's a fucking Plinko game in here that kills you.
Yeah.
This really good. I definitely recommend it. I'm going to be streaming it a bunch because everyone's been super jazzed about it. The other Jackbox game I played of the 5 is Push the Button, and it's taking the idea that's in a lot of games like Werewolf, where you're playing with a group of people. You're on a spaceship. One or multiple of them are aliens, and you must find out who they are and shoot them out of the airlock. And
you have to shoot all of them simultaneously, and you cannot you can't shoot out a human or you lose.
We learned that on stream when they said there are 3 aliens. You must pick all 3, and you must all agree to shoot them out. And if you shoot them out and there's 1 human in there, at least, you lose. The rest of the aliens then throw you out of the airlock as well.
It's pretty good. Me, Vox, and Sarlene's friend, Holy, we were all 3 aliens and fucked over so many listeners to this podcast. It was great.
This game was fantastic.
It was, yeah.
Just because they go, you have to answer this prompt. and the aliens will get a different prompt from you, so it'll look strange. We're midway through the game. Aliens can now hack you and give you their prompt. Also, aliens can give other aliens the human prompt.
Yep. So let me tell you how that went for me. Everything was fine. None of the aliens were suspicious up until the point where the hacking wore out on me or something happened, and it goes, "Hey, name an animal that's really disturbing or like depressing to look at." And I'm like, "A sloth." The question pops up, what would you eat as a delicious thing? And everyone's like, "What the fuck, a sloth?" And I'm like, "Oh shit." It's not even mentioning animals. It's just like, what would you eat? And I'm like, shit, when did the hack run out? What the fuck happened? I'm screwed. I've been outed. But Shibuya...
I got exposed super hard, but thankfully I did the I was hacked defense.
Oh yeah.
The prompt for humans. What will you look like 10 years from now or something? And people were really confused because I drew a T-Rex. Because my prompt was draw a T-Rex. And I had to go, no, you don't understand. I was hacked. It was... and then it's just other weird ones where it's like, do you like brownies? And this was a question of agree, strongly agree, disagree. I put strongly agree. And it was like, nuts shouldn't be on brownies was the real response. And the people were like, I'm like, yes, fuck nuts. I'm not 2 years old. I don't need filling.
Don't need filling.
I'm like, and I equated it to people who like crunchy peanut butter are 8 years old and then they grow up. Sometimes you have to come up with bullshit sometimes.
I feel like that's backwards.
I feel like this is just a game that forces you to act like me.
Yes. I'm like, what the fuck would Phil do in this situation? And that was it. Also, that alien thing, the main quirk, there's a timer the entire time.
Yeah.
And you get like 15 to 20 minutes. And you run out of time, you're done. Also, if everyone presses the button and you don't get a definitive person out, you're also done. Because it has to be unanimous vote for it to work.
The best part about the hacking running up on me is Shibuya was there, and people were like, Dan's obviously an alien, and after that quiz round ended, they kept putting me in the evacuate chamber, and then Shibuya Gato's sitting there, and she's like, no, they hacked him. They just hacked him that one time. All of his other answers were perfectly normal, you guys. Can't you see? I'm just losing it.
I'm saying that everyone in my chat said you need to get a big think video of you guys doing that.
I want to play this now. This sounds incredible.
Yeah, no, it's actually really fun.
The 2 games of the 5 I've played so far make it worth the money.
Oh, yeah. And honestly...
Like, the rest can be we shitted and farted, and it's fine.
I was telling Bob, in my opinion, the Alien one was kind of one of the worst ones I played, and I played
That's the
several.
best thing you could say, to be honest.
Yeah, there's some really good ones. They have one where... okay, so we had about 14 people participating, because it goes all the way up to 16 for this one game. And it's called bracket tiering. And what you do is it gives you a command. It's like, hey, name a famous line from a movie, and then 16 different people will enter it, and then they face off in 4 different 4v4 or free-for-all 4 matches, and then it's like tournament structure. So it goes 4 versus 4 or versus free-for-all. Then it goes down to 2. Then it goes down to just the very last 2 options fighting each other. It does it completely normal the first time you play. It's like, hey, do this. And the question's normal the whole way through. The second time it does this, it's like, okay, this is the double blind edition. So what's going to happen is we're going to ask you this question and then fucking change the category. So it'll be that same sort of thing where it's like, name a famous line from a movie. And then you'll answer, yippee-ki-yay, motherfucker. And then it'll be like, best thing to put on your tombstone. Like, it just completely changes the context of the answer in a way that's fucking hilarious. Yep.
They had a variation of that in last year's game, which was Break the Internet.
Oh, yeah.
Where it's like, someone makes half of something, the other person writes the other half, and they put them into categories of crowdfunding project. And other such ideas like that.
the third round of bracketeering does it 3 fucking times. So it was like, okay, the first question I can't remember off the top of my head, but one of the leading things was secretly Hitler. Then the second round comes up and it's now changed the context entirely, and it's like great name for something. I forget what. And then that round ends. The final 1v1 changes the context to the title of your self-biography. The thought of your autobiography being titled Secretly Hitler was the new context for the competition that was going on, and I'm like, this is a nightmare.
They have
it's delightful.
They've managed to circumvent a lot of the issues that come from Jackbox early games of it's just Cards Against Humanity style stuff, where they're curating 90% of the content and you just do like one small thing.
Yeah, also you can tell they thought it through really well, like how it's going to play out. For example, in the alien thing we were talking about, right? I saw your stream. It was something like your neighbor gets locked outside of their house and the key is their key's locked inside. What do? Help them.
And they're in their underwear.
Yeah, and they're in their underwear. What do? Help them break in, blah, 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 blah. And then because you can choose one of 2 responses or whatever. One of the responses is scare them away.
Yes.
The humans or aliens, depending on your run, will see a completely different question. That's like, there's some annoying birds tearing apart your birdhouse. What do? Help them or scare them away?
Yes.
It's
like,
pretty
why
funny.
would you scare him away? He just needs help getting into his house.
So like they clearly took into account the context shift and how that's funny when they wrote these jokes, which is, I mean, I don't want to sit here and cast shade, but Cards Against Humanity is not operating on that level when it comes to comedy. It is very flat.
Cards Against Humanity have one aspect in Trivia Murder Party that made me shit, in which he goes, "What is the font used in Cards Against Humanity?"
What?
That's pretty funny.
And it was like, the font was Helvetica Bold 7.
That's great. But yeah, no, it's really fun. I do want to play it with KZ
that.
That
That should
point.
be sign you're an alien.
There's just a lot of they have a lot of fun with this, and also they've exhausted the ideas of game types that would be a little bit more boring and blasé. So everything they're putting out now is a lot more interesting concept wise.
Yeah, it seems like they've learned a lot through the first 5.
Like, I enjoyed 5 a lot. 3 is where Trivia Murder Party first came in, and I really liked that. And this one so far is really, really good. I'm looking forward to playing through the rest of them and maybe like doing a video or 2 of some of the other ones. Because I like to imagine Phil playing this because he's insane.
See,
and it's like
when
Phil's too reserved this time, he's got to be an alien.
the one time I played Jackbox with Bob, he made me laugh so unbelievably hard because he clearly had a deep hatred for the game setting up this one joke you have to draw, and Bob was like, this is lame. So what he put in was fucking hilarious. I want to see that shit again on this. Also, I want to see Phil be a psychopath.
Trivia Murder Party is great because they have in the settings, would you like to disable the drawing games? Would you like to disable any questions that are US centric? We'll limit those because the European part of my audience gets so angry.
Yeah, no, that's fair.
Force them to learn. We rule the world.
We had a Canadian playing with us who had no idea what the fuck the category was. I was like, oh, jeez.
I'm glad we had our feelism for the week.
Yeah, no, that's
I'm just wearing the "Try and Stop Us" shirt from The Simpsons.
Solid recommendation. Those games just get a lot of mileage from. Only one person needs to buy this.
Yeah.
And now with like Discord having instant like streaming the audio and video of stuff, and Twitch's delay being a lot shorter than it used to be, have made that a lot a lot easier. But yeah, I'm glowing. I'm glad that they put out another really solid one of these.
The last thing I want to note about it was on the bracketeering thing. On the first category.
Is that in this one?
Oh, yeah, that's in this one. It was really fun.
Okay, because I remember bracketeering being in one of the older ones.
Oh, no, I'm going to feel so bad if the person suddenly switched games. One moment.
Oh, because bracketeering is like the one where it's
that
like
may
the
have been
blue tournament
Jackbox 4.
thing. Yeah,
curious.
that was an older one from a couple
Yeah, they may
years
have
ago.
switched. One moment. That may be the case. Let me see what games are in this one. Oh, they totally switched. Oh, that's a bummer. I don't want to buy two of them.
I mean,
this still had really good ones.
I own all except the first one.
Yeah, no, this one still had good ones. Like, I'm looking at the list that was in this one, and it was good. Okay, fine. This story no longer has to do with Jackbox Party 6. It has to do with Jackbox Party 4. Anyways, there was a category that was like, what is the coolest thing to juggle? Bob, you know what I put in there. Work and family.
Oh, God. Yeah.
It was kicking the shit out of everything until somebody said my social life and my crushing depression.
Yeah, that usually does it.
I was like, God damn it. Of course they have to beat up my work and family submission.
I want to question on the Quiplash thing that came up for Trivia Murder Party, where it was like, remember the APCs, always be blank, and I just put coming.
God damn it! Of course you did.
I got scared, though, because I was like, oh, these fucking dudes are just going to make a meme answer, and they said Kino, but I'm like, that isn't with a C! Always be Cino!
Always be Cena.
Rapadoo!
Man, we got news to talk about.
Well, I'm super proud, Dan. You said you needed to try and make us go through this quick. We're 90 minutes into the podcast.
Well, yeah, that's why all of these 17 Riot games we have to talk about are just going to go lightning fast.
Well, yeah, because they didn't fucking reveal anything about any of them.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. But you know what needs to be something that needs to be given proper time and attention.
What's that?
The Pod Lords.
Oh my God, the fucking Pod Lords! I fucking love Pod Lords! The Pod Lords for this episode of the Big Think Dimension are Danny Richardson, Nutgak, Ely Broyles, Dandy Cageford, Neil Breen, Raw, Dank,
No!
Mormon,
Very rough.
Red Blaze 27, Jucifer, the True Self. Oh wait, Shadow Jucifer, the True Self. Man, I've read it twice already. You think I want to? Suzu Shiro, Maddie Mo's Last Hurrah. Please don't pass away, Maddie Mo. Emperor Zero.
Oh no.
Ramicus, Crystal Pen. Correction, it is in fact Hocktober. Junichi Mazda says, Goo Goo Gaga Gen 1 bestest gen.
Preview for the news.
Chris Fitzpatrick. Digimon the movie's English dub for curse content when?
Oh man, is it bad? It might be the worst dub in a movie theater of all time.
What? For what movie?
Digimon the movie.
Oh, I think I saw that in theaters.
Yeah, I did too. It's horrid.
Brandon, if KZ guffaws at my name again, I'll strangle him. Hanabarger.
Yeah.
Cappy. I'm sorry, Cappy. I sounded so disappointed in you. I don't know why I said it like that. I'll say it again. Cappy. Every orange cat is just Garfield. You cannot convince me otherwise.
Oh no, he's right.
This would work, but you're not the last person in line, so whatever. This is outing you, Abedjasine. And the Feet Lords, Osama bin Ballin, and Cuatro Chadrick Gran Dimension de Pensamiento.
I was wondering why I got a new subscriber called the Osama bin Ballin.
Look, man, he's been ballin'. He might as well tell people. Thank you very much to our Pod Lords.
Gracias.
Thank you, Pod Lords.
Thanks, Podlord.
New ban on the word feet. You put feet in your name, I'm skipping it.
That's fair. Thankfully, we won't have to talk about anything or feet-related IPs.
Yeah, thank God. Whew.
Unfortunate. What should we start? Let's start with Pokemon, just so we can corpse it up. Get that out of the way.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to this week's Pokemon Sword and Shield Rutro Report, which I've now titled It That. So, they said, hey, Galar research, because that's how they prep their posts. We're going to have like a big new Pokemon trailer, new information at 6 a.m. on this time. And I went, I need the rawest takes I can. I asked Dan and Bob, how many Pokemon will be revealed that are brand new in this next trailer? Dan with 3. Bob, 5. But there will be no more new Pokemon after this. Feel 2. My guess, a 37. Because I was like, whatever, why not? So this trailer is released. New Pokemon shown? None. Zero. None. They are Gigantamax versions of older Pokemon. That doesn't count as new fucking Pokemon. They've shown you nothing.
Of these 5, Meowth, Pikachu, Eevee, Charizard, and Butterfree, 3 are fucking bonuses for various bullshit.
Of course they are. Like pre-orders and stuff.
Meowth is a long cat and is a pre-order bonus. Pikachu and Eevee are if you have save data from their respective Let's Go game.
Oh god, so you can't even get both unless you have bot. That's insane.
Yeah, because they're like Let's Go save data. So I have a copy of Eevee, so I'll be getting the Eevee that can evolve but can Gigantamax.
And be very smug about it.
I mean, I'm only cool with it if it's voiced just like the Eevee, but with a deeper voice, it'd be, yeah, boy.
This is so rough.
Hi, how you doing? There is a response that is generated whenever there is talk about the low amount of Pokemon that are revealed. Why do you want every single Pokemon to be revealed in this? Because that's the response when you say they're not revealing any Pokemon.
Yeah.
Is that you want all of them.
Yeah.
Not that you want some of them. A medium amount of Pokemon to be revealed.
Not that the point of them communicating with you before the game's release is to let you know everything is okay and it's going to be as normal. This is looking like the least amount of new Pokemon ever by a lot.
Has any game before this done the thing where there's version exclusives of Pokemon from previous gens?
No,
yes.
Well,
I'm pretty sure it's like, you play Sun and Moon, you only get these dudes from older gens.
Yeah, I feel like that frequently happens. Like Ditto's only in that one version or something.
I remember there were like I don't remember what it was, but I remember going, yeah, I'm glad I picked Moon because then these things will be in the wild.
Oh, you're saying something like they only spawn certain of the older Pokemon? Yeah, that's constantly a thing.
Right.
Okay.
I mean, that's 4th gen, baby.
Like if you pick Shield, you get like I'm glad I'm picking Shield because it has the amoeba like psychic Pokemon like
Solosis.
Solosis. I'm a big fan. I like Solosis a lot.
He's great. He's the best. He's 5th gen. He is part of what makes 5th gen strong.
And the sword counterpart for it is Gothitelle, and I'm like,
are you serious again?
That's the same way they were in
Gothitelle twice.
Oh,
that's the same way it was in Black and White.
Yeah, the worst way ever. Just delete Gothitelle. Just do it. Why she want to go on vacation?
Fucking Manhattan just blows her up. Do it, Manhattan. Blow her up with your blue penis. Just explode her brains.
We're, 20 days out?
Yeah, it's really close.
It's like 3 weeks or something like that.
It's getting miserable.
I'm going to believe, against all odds, that they just have a bunch of secret Pokemon. Because I don't want to immediately default to they shitted and farted, but I'm real close to just thinking that they shitted and farted.
You want to believe they're just holding everything close to their chest.
Yeah, and
all signs point that they didn't do that. Yeah. All signs.
All signs. Every last fucking one for 4 months now.
Yeah, what if we have seen basically everything? That's what it feels like. Because they're just like trickling things out, having almost nothing to show us.
Then, Bob, I will go through that entire game as a human volcano of rage.
I don't want us to have Astral Chain except meaner when we cover this game.
The 5-hour spoiler cast of Pokemon. And I go to the bush, and you know what's in the bush, Pokemon? It's what Pokemon's in the bush, Bob? It's a fucking Squirtle.
I
it's
love
a fucking
Pidgey.
Squirtle. It's a Pidgey. It's a Caterpie.
Astral Chain was that JoJo meme of everybody kicking the shit out of the guy while he's on the ground.
Yes.
This might just be the opening of RoboCop.
To entertain Bob's thing of what if that's it? What if the only Pokemon in this is what they've shown so far? That would mean that even if you split all the Pokemon revealed so far, now counting the starters, and you put one in every location, there wouldn't be enough.
Yeah.
There wouldn't be enough to have a unique thing in each one.
Yeah.
I have to believe that there's at least 20 Pokemon that are just, they haven't shown that'll just be there.
And aren't
Otherwise,
evolutions
like,
of
damn.
something, hopefully. Because
Like new shit, because there's plenty of people that go, I'm going to play the new Pokemon game and my team's only going to be new shit.
Too bad.
And then it's like, oh, I'm like everybody else because there's not a lot of new stuff going on here.
Well, yeah, that's the problem when you take a franchise, which core appeal is the title of the franchise, Pokemon, and getting new ones, and you just shit all over that. And now you can't even get the old ones, so this is not looking good.
That's what really promotes the idea that they don't have as many, because they're like, the game development's hard, and there are limitations and stuff for the national decks. And I'm like, you haven't shown a lot of new Pokemon either, and that makes this seem like everything got cut severely.
You can't fucking please understand every single feature of your game.
They've been pleased understanding for 4 fucking months straight. It's insane.
it's okay, guys. Everyone's just going to really want a team of all Wooloos. They're really banking on that. And I'm
not a big fan of Wooloo, I'm going to be honest.
Oh, man. I'm sorry.
I didn't know
this
we
game
had...
probably isn't for you.
Yeah, I didn't know we had a racist on the podcast.
The national deck is just gone forever. The trade-off of that should be every game is like Black and White, and you just don't see anything old until after the main game.
Yeah, and
right, that's
you know,
the only reasonable way to make sense of that.
I mean, that would be fine. I'd be fine with that.
I'm still excited for the game. I'm just hoping it's a lot better than how they presented it. I just hope that it's like, oh man, that was a good Pokemon game with the worst marketing campaign of all time. Just
I'm praying. I am praying. I don't want to, like, because I really liked Sun and Moon.
I want this to continue to be a 7.0 franchise, swimming in sevens with every new game.
I don't want to play this and be like, this is worse than X and Y.
I hear you can skip the catching tutorial.
Yeah.
Oh,
Finally,
wow.
I almost quoted finally some good fucking news.
That give me some hope it won't have some gigantic intro that just is teaching you how to play Pokemon.
Yeah,
No,
don't worry,
they
Bob.
will.
Go to the trainer school.
You can just skip the catching tutorial.
Right. If it's
That
just
gives me hope that they
one
streamline
thing.
some aspects.
No, it's great. It's going to
4
be
hours long.
It's going to be really streamlined. It is going to have the least content of any Pokemon to date.
Dan, don't you think you're being a little bit bitter about how bad this Pokemon game looks? Because it does.
Bitter is not the emotion in my heart.
I think it's rage.
Rage and disappointment. Oh, man.
Well, Matsuda came to your house, grabbed your heart, and started stabbing it over and over again. And you're like, no, this isn't even a new knife. This is a knife from 1998. You can't do this.
Fucking Masuda kicked down my door. He said, one of the gamers, one of the crew, and he carved my heart out and put it in a chest.
To be positive, I think the Charizard looks cool. I'm glad Butterfree got love, because fucking Butterfree doesn't get pandered to.
Hey, Bob.
I feel like Butterfree.
I'm really
gets
glad
better
a Gen
pandered.
1 Pokemon got pandered to.
Yeah, I feel like Butterfree gets plenty of representation. It was one of the things in X Forest 1, X and Y, the
Yeah.
first forest. It's like, hey, have some Butterfrees. You like them? Yeah, Butterfree. I like Butterfree.
I meant like a new thing with it, because Beedrill got the Mega, but then Butterfree didn't get anything, and now this thing just gets a giant Mothra form, and I thought that looked neat.
I wonder what the stat buff looks like, because the totem Pokemon in X and Y was like, we increased one of their stats. Please understand.
Bob, did you see where they were like, well, it's the 30th anniversary or 20th anniversary of the original Pokemon, so it's time to celebrate it. I was like, fuck you. You're Game Freak. It's always time to celebrate first gen. Fuck you.
Yeah,
Eat a dick.
it's true. It's always that time of year.
Jesus Christ.
Like, it was...
If X and Y didn't exist, maybe. If fucking Alolan forms didn't exist, maybe. Fuck you. You don't get to pretend. Don't act like this is the
all
first
these
time
regional
you've done this.
variants, there's one non-Gen 1-1, and it's fucking Zigzagoon.
Okay, that's hilarious.
Every
that is
other
true.
variant
Every
is of the
other
Gen 1
one
Pokemon.
is Gen 1.
Yeah, because
That's what gave everyone hope, because that's the first variant they showed.
it's upsetting.
What was... those new Gigantamax forms they showed.
Uh-huh.
I feel like those leaked like half a year ago or something. Because I feel like I've heard about old Gen 1 style Pikachu and Lawn Cat.
It was part of a leak. It leaked
All
in
of
May.
this leaked in May. And everyone was like, there's no way. This is too stupid.
Right.
8 hours before this trailer popped, scans for all of those Pokemon came out.
Mm-hmm.
And everyone went, they're the more Gen 1 stuff. And then someone said, what if this is all that trailer is? And I'm like, no way. They can't get away with not showing a new Pokemon.
Owned.
Yeah.
They can.
It's
no new Pokemon at all.
It's really
Next week,
bad.
though, they're going to show 55 fucking Pokemon. It's going to be crazy, guys.
They better show at least like 5.
I like...
That's not enough. If they announce a trailer, I'm going to ask you, put in our documents how many Pokemon it's going to be.
I actually, when the trailer came out, I woke up. I didn't look at the internet. I was like, I'm not going to look at the internet. I'm just going to go to the internet. Or I'm just going to go straight to YouTube, go to Nintendo's channel, and watch this trailer. It's not a Nintendo's channel. Uh-oh. Go to Pokemon's channel. And then I watched. I'm like, there was nothing.
That's a fucking shame. And I would like to know, all the people who are like, what if they're just holding back info? Hey, Bob, what if they're just holding back that they have a lot of Pokemon? Now, by saying this to you, Bob Vert Video Games, I'm asking you to entertain that the company that has been known to do the most fucking trailers, interviews, TV shows, specials, and everything about each new installment of their game decided for once to not reveal info, but is still simultaneously still doing all of that fucking shit.
Yeah,
just
still
have
rolling
nothing
out
to show.
every week with almost nothing.
The new Koro mag reveals another Charizard form. Fucking awesome. Thank you. So
Charizard now has 4 forms.
And 7 dicks. Fantastic. I'm really glad. But yeah, fuck this news. Fuck that game. I'm really not looking forward to it. I love Pokemon, just so we're fucking clear, because some people don't realize. Some people are a little daft.
Yeah,
and
this
think
is
because
hurting
I'm,
you the most.
Yeah, because
Dan
they literally
just wants
carving...
Pokemon to be as good as Black and White again.
Yeah, that would be fantastic. I would be the first person singing its praises if it was that again. I'd be here giving it a 10 out of 10 on a spoiler cast if it was that great
spoiler
again.
cast might end up being good. Who knows?
I heard that spoiler cast only has 2 podcasters.
Maybe.
The
Maybe
podcast comes out, there's
this
only
game-
one. It's me in a room with a microphone by myself.
Maybe
I didn't like it.
Maybe all the ways this game are good are just not things they can make bullet points. Like there's an incredible amount of polish and it's such a realized world and none of this is true. I'm just fucking desperately reaching.
Maybe the Curry Dex is so insane that we can't
Maybe
even
the
imagine
game
it.
is actually about that.
The Curry Dex is such an engaging part of the game, Bob. It's like that flute in that episode of Star Trek. You pick up the Curry Dex and then you age for 50 years while playing it.
You live another life.
Yes.
All right. We need to lock this in now so that people look stupid later. I'm gonna have everyone guess how many Pokemon will be in that game that were not shown in any form of media until launch.
I'm checking.
Dan,
I'm checking how many confirmed Pokemon there already are.
Are we counting?
It's a premonition of once the game has launched, how many Pokemon were not shown in a trailer leading up to it. I won't count launch trailers because that at that point the game's out.
What about do we count evolutions in this number? Like things that obviously have evolutions we haven't seen.
No.
Yeah, I get really tired
18.
of. Oh yeah, those evolutions of the starters are new Pokemon. It's like no, those are just the evolution.
The only
Pokemon.
time an evolution will count if it's like Magnezone, where it's like we went back to something really old and gave it something. But no, it's not like here's fucking Rapidash. Like no, that doesn't count.
They will
4-hour stream just to show it.
They will show 3 more forms before launch, and that's it. Or three more Pokemon.
But how many? The question is, how many more will they not show?
Oh, how many will they not show?
I meant how many will be in the game that you did not see from promotion?
15. Absolute most.
All right. Bob.
Absolute most.
How many we've seen already, Dan? You just looked it up.
22.
We've seen 22.
I think they're
That's it?
That's it. That's fucking it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, the Pokedex right now is at like 300 or 400, but only 20.
Yeah, there are only 22 confirmed new Pokemon as of when was this written? 9 days ago.
This hurts.
Man, let me tell you, every generation prior to this one has more Pokemon in this game than this gen by a lot.
I want to say
I saw someone tweet to you that's like, for it to beat the lowest, it'd have to have 70 something.
It's going to have nowhere near that. It's going to have nowhere near that. It's going to have nowhere near that.
X and Y have 69 new Pokemon.
It is at most going to have 50.
I want to believe there are like another 30 we haven't seen. But honestly, it's probably more like 10.
Yeah.
Salted it at 10.
I'm not counting any evolutions of anything we've seen so far. I'm going to say 25.
Yes.
So you think they're going to be 47? Oh, wait, not including evolutions? So that would put it 50 plus. Because this is including evolutions.
I think it will be over 50, but I do not think it will beat even X and Y.
20 is my guess.
What was the number I said?
There will be, you 15. Said 15.
Okay. Yeah.
All of these
I feel like none of these would be good. Lot more Pokemon, but there will still be 20 that you just did not see. And then they'll just throw a trailer every day while the game's launching. Where it's like, here's the rest of them. Buy it.
They'll be like, haha, see, we had a ton more Pokemon. Here's 8.
We let everyone think our game was shit.
And then it is shit. Like, they act like they owned us, though.
Look at this bike. Ha. Bet you feel silly now.
Idiot. You can do tricks on it.
Can you? I don't.
Okay, you're getting me interested.
I'm pretty sure you can do that in this
the
one.
Acro bike.
Yeah.
Mach bike is the one that's really fast, but it's like unwieldy fast.
Yes.
Through the slopes.
Yep.
I like 3rd gen a lot. Agro's talking about how 3rd gen Pokemon suck, and I was thinking about murdering them.
Could you read his exact tweet for the sake of posterity?
I will pull it up if you talk about something else.
Sure, yeah. I'll go ahead and transition to not Pokemon. Actually, Bob, you have really quick news. Talk about Skullgirls on the Xbox One.
Sure.
What?
First Skullgirls, it comes out next week, the October 22nd, so days after this podcast goes up.
Yeah.
It's coming to the Switch.
Yep.
Xbox One version postponed indefinitely due to unforeseen development and production challenges.
What does that mean?
That means patching on Xbox One and other. Their entire relationship with Xbox as a platform has always sucked. Xbox has screwed them so many fucking times during the 360 gen with fucking Skullgirls and many other things.
I know that Xbox is the one that's like, if you don't sell at least this many units, we're fining you. We don't want your fucking shit non-selling game taking up space in our library.
Or prestigious library, they say, as fucking Crackdown is right behind them.
All right. I've found it.
Okay.
I found this discourse that happened. I posted a clip of our previous week's podcast in which you discovered what the fuck Impidimp is.
Yes, because holy shit, how is that a real Pokemon?
The Game Freak Goblin.
Yes.
Yes. Agro says, is Impidimp just Game Freak throwing 3rd gen fans a bone after giving him a chance to shit on some designs for a change? I simply responded, 3rd gen was fantastic, you rube. His response, I wonder if I get extra prison time if somebody used this tweet at my murder trial to prove you're a mentally handicapped child. And that your days are numbered. He asked me how high I can count, young man. I said 11. And he said, see, Sword and Shield are introducing more new Pokemon than you can count. It's gonna be great.
I just had the horrifying thought that every other Pokemon left to be revealed is impotent tier.
Oh my god.
No,
Guys,
it's got to be
guys.
like the Ghost Teacup. That's good.
Bob,
Talk about another corpse. Talk about Halo.
What if,
Bob,
what
if
if
there are 18 Impidimps hiding in this game, I'm giving it a 5.
What if Impidimp is like the new unknown? There's like
They're like 20 plus Impidimps.
I'll
Holy
give the game
shit.
a 9.
Oh, fuck you.
Oh, okay. Halo
Uh-huh.
lost another key member today,
Oh.
or this week. Mary Olson, lead producer of Halo Infinite, leaves studio.
Oh. And this is right
oh.
after the creative director left.
Yeah, Tim Longo, who in the initial announcement made it seem like she was taking his place, and now the community manager's like, no. There's two different roles. We just happen to be talking about the role shifts that happened both at the same time.
Oh, really?
Because it almost made it sound like the main person left that was critical to the campaign, being good, and then the person replacing them also left.
Yep.
It almost sounds like
It
that.
almost sounds like they've literally said exactly that over the course of months.
Maybe.
It's like,
But it's
hey,
I love
3,
the
4.
bullet point here. Many people often lie.
Hey, that wasn't me. That was me.
That was me.
Theo.
I added that.
Of course it was. It was mean and crazy. It had to be Theo.
I was
I
like,
don't think it's crazy. Oh, sorry, we're bleeding staff like a fucking stuck pig. It's fine though.
Yeah, you see,
No.
the duty of the lead producer was to help different fields all get their act together in time for launch.
yes.
Not important.
Not
Yeah, here we are like a year from launch and they're leaving. I'm like, that's probably important
At
still.
other companies, the lead producer leads production. Here at Microsoft, they get people sandwiches at lunch.
I like sandwiches.
Hey, 343, everything going okay? Everything's fine. Really? Because you don't sound like, yeah, no, it's everything's fine, just hiding some bodies.
I want to believe this game won't be trash, but
I know.
everything out of it.
Year
So,
after year, we had such a good year for games so far, Bob.
Yeah.
And then it's like, welcome to the end of the year where the best stuff happens. And then Pokemon stumbles out of its closet. It's like, hey, guys, how's it going? And then you're like, oh,
Stunk
God,
in there. There was
least-
this rotting green guy.
at least I can look forward to Halo. Oh, no.
I wonder how radically different the Halo trailer this next E3 is going to be. Like, the first year was something entirely different from the second year, so this third year's got to be something else that's completely different.
Oh,
and
it's gonna
possibly on
It's
be in
going
the
to be
same
good.
place.
It's going to be good. It's going to be
okay.
like, Cortana, I can't believe you fused with the internet. And then it'll pop up 2021.
Wait, it's supposed to be this year?
Yeah, no, that's what I'm calling it now. They're going to do that.
Oh, man. They
They're
don't
go-
make it for launch.
They're going to try to make the most hype fucking trailer, and it's going to end with fuck you next year.
Will that game have stuff from the actual game this time, unlike the other two?
I'm sure they could shove that cutscene ham-fistedly into the final game from last year. This year, it will be inspired by the events of Halo Infinite, much like
Don't
the
do
desert.
that. Final Fantasy 15 did that.
Oh yeah, no, it's going to be like the
What?
desert cloak thing, where it's going to be Master Chief in a desert, and it's going to be the rawest shit ever,
That was
and not happen in the game at all.
That was so much cooler than anything in Halo 4.
I know. No, that was 5.
They got
Was that 5?
Yeah,
they
that's
got
fine.
like they had the Assassin's Creed CG trailer guys do a Final Fantasy 15 trailer.
Mm-hmm.
That's like setting up a story thing where he's running in the desert and he's following the dog and falling through warps and fighting Empire dudes.
That was cool.
And there's a
It made me some hope for there being like a story in that game.
Uh-oh. Don't do
And-
that.
they put that trailer in the game.
What?
Patch.
What?
He has a
is
dream of
this?
it.
He
Yeah.
has a
He-
God damn
He
it.
has a dream. He has
I
a dream,
remembered
and then
this.
there's the one. Do you remember the cutscene in that game where it's like, "Oh, I had a dream. Why is my dream letterboxed?"
I didn't know what the fuck I was looking at. They play that when he gets sucked into the crystal.
No, they don't even play that there. They just play it when he's having a dream after a side character dies that no one knows who he is.
The old man.
Jesus Christ.
Yeah,
Oh my god, that's awful.
justice
Oh.
for Jared. Yeah, even when that game came out, I'm like, this is awful. Like, why is this trailer here? It has nothing to do with what happens in the game at all.
I definitely think they used part of this during when he falls asleep for the crystal, because I remember him having the rifle.
Oh, God. Maybe they did. Yeah, they put in a lot of stuff in there. Like good combat. It was weird. I hate this is inspired by this. It's like, oh no, it's that bad, ain't it?
Yeah, that's always a bad sign.
Let's stop.
Yeah, let's stop talking about this. Let's talk about cool shit. Analog, the company that made the Super NT and Mega SG.
Analogue Way.
Yeah.
And less raw, the NES one that apparently isn't that great.
The NES one that is not that great and was made out of aluminum and cost $450 to buy, and we sold it for, what was it, $1,300, Bob? Do you remember?
Something like that. It was ridiculous.
The market price. Yeah, that's why we sold it.
Because they quit making it. Because they quit into production, so it shot up in value.
And this is actually relevant to our story, so I'll sort of talk about this real quick. That was also the only analog console that supported system cores for more than one system at that time. The Mega SG wasn't announced yet, as far as I can remember, and all of Analog systems since then had been one system. So the Super NT just plays your Super NES games on an FPGA core, which makes it feel really great and has really good compatibility with absolutely perfect input lag. Or as Kevtris, the engineer of it, told me in a conversation we had on a Discord server, it has a few scan lines worth of input lag additional to the original SNES. He's like, yeah, it's like 4 scan lines. And I'm like, okay, no one can. Okay, thank you. This is good to know. Anyway.
You've been hype. When I asked you about this yesterday, you made it seem like it's pretty hype.
Yeah, this is going to be a major moment. So what they announced is called the Analogue Pocket, which is a shit name. I want to be clear on that. That is a terrible name. Also making your company's name the difference between analog and digital, just the word analog, but with British spelling kills the hell out of me. But I really like their products, so I deal with it. The Analogue Pocket is going to be a Game Boy FPGA console, but it is a portable, and it does Game Boy Color, and Game Boy Advance, all on a super high resolution screen of 1600 by 1440. So it's the Game Boy Originals resolution multiplied by 10. And so you're going to be able to play those games with really, really accurate cores. Not only that, which is great enough as it is, right? Not only that, you're also going to be able to play with cartridge adapters, Atari Lynx games, Neo Geo Pocket Color games, and Game Gear games. And that's really cool. That's really great. Now I have to talk about the bad parts. This thing's $200, which isn't that bad, but I forgot to mention that before I moved on. Bob, is there anything broad about this device you think I should describe before we move into the problems with it?
I guess it's shaped like a Game Boy Pocket.
Yeah, it's shaped like a Game Boy Pocket. It has a square screen, which I'll talk about in a second, and it's $200. And in order to hook it up to a TV, you'll need a thing that they haven't even priced yet. That is called the Analog Dock, which this company continues to have the worst names possible. Here's the thing. It says it's $200. You're going to pay between $20 and $40 for the shipping. That's how it works out every time with this company. Their shipping costs way too much. So that's concern number 1. Concern number 2, I'm worried that the buttons will not feel good on this device. The 8-bit-do controllers, in my opinion, there was only one good one, and it's the wireless Genesis one they came out with last year. I think it's really solid. Bob, you've tried all their controllers. Do you agree with my assessment?
Yeah, that's probably the first one that feels really good.
The NES one was not great. I know you disliked it quite a lot.
Is it? We don't even know that they're working with the same people for this, though.
They're owned by the same CFO.
Okay.
They manufacture buttons over there at 8-bit-do, which is owned by the same CFO. Which the CFO of that company is the CEO of Analog, if I remember correctly, Chris Tabor. And it says
their buttons were just all right, nothing spectacular. But I have the wireless Switch SNES controller, and also one for the SNES Classic, and they felt okay, but nothing I would
super
use
solid
this over. Yeah, it's it worked and didn't feel bad, but I've tried $10 SNES USB controller, so my thing's a bit skewed of nightmares. Nightmares.
I'm just like concerned because it's now a part of the hardware. You know, to use it as a portable, it has to be good and solid and durable, you know? So that's a concern.
Absolutely.
Another concern, and I will now post this in the Discord. I've been waiting till this conversation to post this. If you look at a cartridge inside of the machine that is fully inserted, the shoulder buttons are literally right next to the fucking cartridge. So to put your finger on the L and R button, you are literally touching the goddamn cartridge.
Oh, I don't like that at all.
I don't like that in the fucking least. And for people who haven't looked it up yet, because it's on Analogue's website, the cartridge is not that deep into the actual shell when it's fully inserted.
It really isn't.
It really isn't. So you could super easily like move it even slightly and crash a game. Like, this company has been known...
Do you think there's like something in there that keeps it in place?
No, there's no mechanism you could build that would clamp onto it that would... Yeah, you would need like a really obvious physical thing to do that, like a lever
I feel like
or
this
switch.
is the kind of thing that would just get dinged in like when they're testing it.
Let's talk about that. So, on the original Analogue NT, which was their first or actually it wasn't even FPGA based, back in those days, which was about 4 years ago, not that long ago, still relevant. They made their first NES replacement console, and they didn't make it with FPGA chips. They made it with original NES chips, so they would find broken NESs or other NESs. They'd rip the chips off of them and put it on a brand new motherboard designed by Analogue. Here's the problem. That first console's cartridge dock was so tight it scraped the cartridges. The next console, the one we own, the Analogue NT Mini, when they started doing FPGA-based technology, its cartridge slot was so loose that a gust of wind from an AC unit overhead dislodged Mega Man enough for it to crash. Nowadays, they're doing a lot better. The grip on their cartridge connectors is really tight, concerningly tight almost, but really tight, but it doesn't scrape because the actual entering area, you know, the hole, the cavity that you put it in is not a tight tolerance. You know, it's pretty wide. The actual connector itself's tight as hell. So you're literally hoping here, because if you can imagine, this thing is about as wide as a Game Boy Advance SP. Think about how you put your fingers over the top of a Game Boy Advance SP. Like, that thing's really small. Your fingers probably went a little bit further than the perfect edge of it. I'm really worried about that not working. So that's a problem, but to be honest, guys, every time Analogue comes out with a console, they come out with a jailbreak firmware. They don't come out with it. It mysteriously appears in the void. No one has ever confirmed where it's coming from, where it jailbreaks the system and now you can run ROMs off of the SD card. This thing has a micro SD card slot. So this thing looks really great. I have some concerns. I'm going to buy it. I'm worried that between the dock's shipping and the dock's price and the Pocket's price, that shit is going to end up costing like upward of $350. I'm really concerned. Yeah, no, it's not. It's not great. Here's why it's going to be a watershed moment, though. Okay, Analogue has on this device for the first time ever 2 FPGA systems, 2 FPGA processors. One of them presumably runs the scaling of the console core and the OS and everything else, and the other one just becomes whatever it needs to be. So it's either a Game Boy Color, or a Game Boy Advance. By the way, I am fucking amazed that Kevtris got a Game Boy Advance running on FPGA hardware already. I was talking to Bob last year. I wasn't sure that was possible. But the amazing watershed moment with this is that they're opening up the second core to be developed to get the FPGA cores made by the community ported over to it, which means this thing is a portable Mr. console, meaning we can probably get ports of all of those FPGA system cores from the Mr. over onto this. So that means you can get cool ass shit like the original arcade Ghosts and Goblins, you know, Neo Geo games, like arcade Neo Geo games will likely run on this. That's fucking incredible. Just thinking about how the whole community can come together and port their homebrew FPGA cores to this thing for free. And it'll feel really great. because this thing is, it's all integrated. This isn't like a software emulation thing. FPGA hardware doesn't have input lag when your stuff is hardwired into it. So like this thing isn't just going to be a portable that plays, Game Boy games. It's not just going to be a portable that plays Game Boy games and Atari Lynx and Neo Geo Pocket Color and Game Gear, which is incredible enough. Like that is incredible. But it's also going to be able to run these homebrew, FPGA cores designed for other things. So you could expect to see all the things that show up there on this. So like Neo Geo Arcade, all that stuff. It's very, very exciting. And with a screen resolution of 1600 by 1440, it's definitely high enough res for basically anything to be scaled and look great. And now the last concern, this thing is like on their site, they're saying cartridge adapters are required to hook up the Neo Geo Pocket Color and the Atari Lynx and the Game Gear games to this system, right? They advertised ahead of the Genesis replacement console coming out that they were going to make cartridge adapters for the Game Gear, the Master System, and one other thing. It is now 7 months later. They still haven't shipped it, and they're not even talking about shipping it. So who the fuck knows when these cartridge adapters will actually ship for this thing? Like, it's weird, man.
I also wonder how we're going to like hook controllers to it, because
let me explain.
Okay.
The dock.
Yeah, I was gonna say the dock is getting it to the TV. Does the dock also have USB ports or something?
The dock has USB ports, and it can also it can wirelessly hook up with the 8-bit DOE Bluetooth controller. And I believe they implied other wireless controllers may work.
Okay.
I think it's. I hate that the dock's separate. I hate that the dock's probably going to cost a lot. And I worry about the durability of this thing from a company that made those cartridge ports that were so bad. I really do worry about that. Also, if you guys look at the picture of the device, the right button on the 4 face buttons and the left direction on the left D-pad are insanely close to the edge of it. Like if you look at where that is positioned on that portable, it seems uncomfortably out to the side. And I know the original Game Boys weren't like that. So I'm kind of worried about hand comfort holding this thing. And I really don't want the Analogue Pocket to be relegated to the world of, oh, it's technically portable. I don't want to use it portably. So I just leave it on the dock that I had to buy separately and play it on my TV. Like, that sucks.
Right. Like, that seems like what this is probably going to end up being.
That's a worst case scenario for this, where it's just like, it's a mediocre experience on the go, but a great one when hooked up to the TV. Either way, I'm really glad that Analogue's opening development to, homebrew developers to port their cores. I think that's going to turn out amazingly well for them. They basically will have put a bullet in the head of the Mr. Console development efforts to some extent, because the amount of people who, or if maybe they haven't killed it there, it'll at least incentivize people to get in on that sort of effort on this instead of on the Misters, so it won't be missed opportunities for them. I think this is really fucking incredible, and I have to wonder if this will get Nintendo's attention, and this will be the console that caused the court trial. I have to wonder.
Yeah, you always wonder if there's just one step away from that.
Last note, which I noted to Bob right before we recorded this, and I alluded to earlier. So I mentioned that screen is square, right?
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
Hey guys, what shape are Game Boy Advance games?
Rectangle.
Wide.
So how much are you guys looking forward to your letterbox Game Boy Advance games on a 3.5-inch screen?
It's called cinematic.
Stretch it.
In CinemaScope, Game Boy Advance High Definition.
Well, all my sprites real tall.
You're going to stretch it vertically?
Yes.
You stretch it vertically, and when the camera pans up to show your face, you look like the Dragon Quest VIII bros. Your face is also stretched vertically, doing the hideous troll face. But yeah, this thing has a ton of potential. It could be really incredible, but I'm worried it's just gonna not have dependable button hardware, or it's gonna be insanely uncomfortable to use unless you hack it.
Yeah, I really wish that they went with something with better ergonomics than Game Boy Pocket.
They're so obsessed with doing really sleek industrial design and way less worried about usability, I feel, over there. But I'm buying it.
Yeah,
100%, 110%. Oh, hey, they even show a picture of how that shit looks zoomed in to show how little space you get with that shoulder button.
The worst shoulder button of all time. I mean, it's like up there with the 3DS, new 3DS, where you get the double shoulder buttons that are like, why did you design it like this?
Oh no, I'm fine with the double shoulder buttons. This is like, imagine if the SP had even less space.
This feels like a bizarre amount of fuck it. It's a premium product for enthusiasts. Form factor doesn't matter.
Yeah, no, who needs usability? I want the industrial design. That's what's important. But yeah, I think it's really great. I think it's really neat. Also, Analogue does have a history of showing a color off. Like they had a you probably remember this, Bob. They had a sleek, smoked-looking, transparent controller once and system.
Yeah, God,
for the Super NES. I wish I could pull it up quickly to show you guys, but that would take too long. So they show it off. It looks very premium. It looks like smoked glass sort of look, right? They ship the thing and it looks like total shit.
Yeah, it's just like, it's clear.
Yeah. It was so bad. So many people were upset. It was like, yeah, guys,
it'll buff out.
Just all you have to do is vape into your Super NES 3 times a week, and eventually it'll look like the thing we showed.
You vape?
Well, I'm a gamer.
God, now I'm just imagining it being all sticky and gross. I'm like,
yeah. And the last thing I need to note. Do not believe their claims. Like, Analogue is a company you should be skeptical of in general because of things they've said in the past, like they've referred to their consoles as 100% reference quality and other shit. Guys, they shipped the Super NES that couldn't play Mortal Kombat 2. Like, this shit is not the bulletproof 100% reference quality shit they keep selling it as. It is insane that they keep doing this. Here's the insane claim this time, Bob. You ready?
Go for it, man.
Let's see. Pocket. Pocket. That's the name of the product. So that sentence just sounds dumb. Pocket is designed around a first-in-class 3.5-inch, 615 pixels per inch LCD with a 1600 1440 resolution. Pocket has 10 times the resolution of an original Game Boy. Okay, not dumb so far technically. And then it goes, yeah, we can hardly believe it either. Pro-level color accuracy, dynamic range, and brightness. There has never been a display this advanced in a video game system. 1, the Vita had an OLED. 2, I will suck your dick if you're color calibrating these screens at the factory, because I know you motherfucking ain't. Because these are the same guys who shipped the Super NES where the colors were wrong. And then the community had to go, hi, my name's Firebrand X. I've done measurements on your colors. They're wrong. Please fix it. And then they did. And that's the one good thing about Analogue.
Cool.
Because Keptris is really good at this shit. He fixes stuff really fast when you bring it to his attention. Or maybe he doesn't. There are very few things I've known the man just to be like, I don't give a shit. He's kind of a neurotic perfectionist of an engineer. But yeah, so what I'm trying to say, ladies and gentlemen, is maybe don't go rushing out there to buy one of these at launch if you don't understand that it may just have a lot of problems. Like, I'm looking at the thing and I'm like, I can't see myself playing Game Boy Advance games because they would really easily pop out the shoulders. Game Boy original games would be comfortable.
I know my thing is if I kept my fingers right there, I'd be so tempted to just yank the cartridge out. Like I'd be fiddling with it the whole time and then just swap it out.
Somebody's like, hey Bob, I'm going to need you to stay extra late tonight. And you would just throw the cartridge at him. You would just ninja star it into his fucking head. Cha!
It's a cartridge of Ninja 5.0.
Bob bends the Analogue Pocket and it shoots out the cartridge like it's a PSP.
God, those people are insane.
How does that come up twice?
Because it's the funniest shit in the world. People buy a $250 portable and they're like, this seems flexible. And then
it seems really poorly made. Even a child could break it. Look.
It bends my pocket.
The person bending it looks like that kid whose entire face turns red and has the bulgy vein.
Yeah, I know the exact one.
But yeah, I'm very excited for this. I think it's going to be a watershed moment in FPGA stuff. Just understand, guys, this company does not have a perfect track record.
The lesson here is don't buy it. Dan's going to.
Basically.
Can people still get the Analogue SG?
I'm pretty sure they can get the SG. Whether or not they can buy the Super NT is another question. Let me check.
Because I know
Okay, so the original analog consoles, they were really bad about your ability to buy them past launch, but we're past that era because they don't make these things out of fucking aluminum. Yeah, no, these things are fine nowadays. You can buy any of their consoles except for the black Super NT, and weirdly enough, the transparent Super NT got canceled. Who could imagine they would discontinue?
What was wrong with that? We wouldn't have talked about that.
Such a great model. Okay, now I have to Google it. I typed in Super NT trans and it came up, and that's pretty. Let's see. Okay, somebody's asking why it's discontinued. Oh my god, yeah. Seeing what they originally pitched this as, they're like, hey guys, you're going to get this cool thing. It's going to have a very smoky look to it. It's going to be really good. It's going to blur the motherboard in this kind of classy way. Okay, let's see how the let's see how the actual thing kind of.
Oh no, this is
that look. I mean, that looks raw. I'm a big fan of those like afterglow controllers.
So yeah, that looks like almost frosted glass. Here's how it actually looks.
Of course. Has a real
this is
play
like
mobile
so it's
energy.
like I want to make a Sonic the Hedgehog popsicle. It's gonna look great, and then you see what it actually looks like.
And yeah, that's why you maybe hold off. Maybe. I mean,
man, what if they show an atomic purple one and then it's just like, oh, it's just clear.
Oh God, I would burn down their headquarters. Oh no, that would be terrible. Allegedly, I would allegedly do.
Thank you. That's how you do this.
The character Dan video games.
Oh, that angry gamer.
I prefer irate.
If you're done beating up Analog with praise.
I mean, I saw so many people excited for this thing, and I'm like, oh God, they don't know. But yeah, go ahead. I'm done.
We have some breaking news that upset me.
Oh no.
Beep, 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 beep.
Aegis Rim is getting a demo in Japan, which isn't the news that upsets me. The news is it's getting a pre-order bonus that we will never ever get that I want very much, which is a PS4 port of Princess Crown.
What? What the fuck? What the fuck?
They have to bring that here. They have to.
You have shot Dan.
It's just
shot him in the middle.
It's apparently just the PSP port running in the PS4's emulator.
That's fine.
But we're not fucking getting that.
Fuck.
Not a chance.
We might. Look, they know that the people bringing this over have to know this game is hardly a video game, and they'll be looking for anything to sweeten the deal.
Son of a bitch. Okay, you guys don't understand why I'm reacting like that. We got the Saturn. I booted that game and was sad that I had no idea what the fuck was going on because it looks so beautiful. Okay. Well, thank you for upsetting me, Phil. I just wasn't upset.
Well, now that you are at you're at a relative level of upset, which is great because we can talk about Stadia.
No, I was going to push that down. Okay, fine. Let's talk about Stadia. So, there's some breaking news on Stadia. Breaking news on Stadia.
Launching November 19th.
That's not the breaking news. Breaking news. I'm going to go with the thing we know and then the thing I just found out. Bob, did you know the Stadia only works with the controller wirelessly on the Chromecast Ultra at launch?
I know.
Okay. Did you know the Stadia will only work with phones and PCs via USB-C connection?
Yeah.
Did you know it will only work on the phones, specifically listed as Pixel phones, seemingly all phones, via Wi-Fi? Thus, it doesn't fucking work mobile.
Wait, what?
So you need
Wasn't that part of their pitch?
That was a part of their pitch. So much of this shit was a part of their pitch.
They were busy, okay? They were busy creating time travel for the negative input lag.
The way I'm telling people this is like they realized Wi-Fi doesn't work at all. That's what the deal is.
Yeah, I was gonna say, does that it's working wirelessly? Does it do the Wi-Fi trick that they were talking about?
They haven't said. Okay. But the original pitch was the controller has Wi-Fi and it beams the inputs directly to the Stadia servers, and thus it's really easy to switch what hardware you're playing it on. Now it needs to be connected to the things via USB-C or wirelessly with the Chromecast Ultra. I'm convinced they're just using Bluetooth for the Chromecast Ultra.
Yeah.
And then USB-C for the other things, because that Wi-Fi shit doesn't work at all.
Turns out we made up a way Wi-Fi worked. It doesn't work like that.
I mean, you could do that. It would be insanely dumb and wasteful and honestly open you up to tons of problems. Like Bob, you know about Joy-Cons not like losing signal with the fucking console, even for the motion control stuff.
Yeah.
Imagine that for internet, for sending your controls over the internet, how much more likely that is to have that problem. Like, say you're not in the same room as your wireless router. What the fuck? Like, you want your hand to cover the wrong part of the controller and cause your inputs to not go to the internet?
Yeah, no, that's... Yeah.
So,
whole new set of problems.
I think they realized that, and they changed how everything fucking worked, but they didn't want to cop to being an idiot.
Right.
I think that's it.
It's hilarious that it has to work through USB.
I mean, can you imagine you're hooking to... Okay, so keep in mind, everyone, Xbox One controllers and PS4 controllers now work wirelessly on iPhones and Android phones. And the Stadia controller, the one that needs that the most, is like, hook it up via a double USB-C type connector cable.
We probably won't give it to you. You probably need to buy it separately.
God, no. Of course not. You're now a power user, Bob. Ignore that this should be everyone who wants this thing, because it's the point of this thing.
This is a cool alpha they're doing.
Everyone's going to have a Chromecast.
Oh, no, this is the real thing. They're just charging people $130 and then pretending to the press who's eating it the fuck up that they're buying into an early access program.
That's funny. I actually was looking at takes, and people were like, they should have just called it early access, then no one would complain.
Yeah, they're selling a product for money. They should have to make sure it works.
One of my favorite tweets of the week, Rocco Bodie started a poll. Should I pee on the Stadia?
I hope it won.
I think it's like 70% said yes, no matter what.
For those who don't know, Rocco Bodie pissed on the Ouya when it came out, like literally in a video. And seeing as how the
Ouya
Stadia
deserved to be pissed on less than the Stadia.
No. You've never used an Ouya, and I know from you saying that.
It was another pile of absolute lies.
It was insane. The input lag on the controller was nuts. Everything was so clunky. It was abysmal. Fuck this thing. Also, we got some great news about Google closing Google Clips and their VR shit this week. Google
would never do that to something they put money behind, though, right?
They would never do that to Stadia. Stadia is a real thing. I'll love it forever.
Let's talk about Blizzard. Blizzard hasn't had
all
a good
of the pain out.
Blizzard hasn't had a good week. I'll just run through everything and I'll just shame people. First, they put up a press release that was basically, we did nothing wrong. Fuck you.
I call it corporate explaining.
I mean,
it was corporate explaining that people think was just written in China.
One, the date on it was in Chinese time.
Yep.
And two, someone was like, I speak Chinese, and there's all these linguistic things that don't make sense in English, but are used constantly in Chinese. And yeah, of course, like, the Chinese government is
some English dude.
There is an agent of the Chinese government at Blizzard HQ. I have no doubt.
Is it Jeff Kaplan?
I don't think it's like literal, like a spy. I think it's just like there's a guy.
I'm Jeff from the Overwatch team.
He pronounces every word wrong. He's worse than me.
Ni hao.
Not, but okay.
Anyway, they took down the May statue. Pre-orders for the May statue.
For those who don't know, there was a $175 May statue
no one cares about it.
On the Blizzard site. They took pre-orders for a bit now, and then when all this shit blew up, they went, fucking black bag that shit. Took the entire page down.
Because obviously they were afraid people were going to change her into pro Hong Kong May and post pictures.
Oh, no.
They would never be able to get a statue of May separate from this, right?
This'll stop the memes.
They showed them.
We'll go through all the bad things of Blizzard, and then I'll shame people. Blizzard canceled the Overwatch Switch launch event. Not only that, Nintendo didn't even mention the game was out on any official channel.
I'm seeing ads on Twitch though.
I read a whole piece about the launch of the Switch version. Number one, when you launch it, they make you download the patch, not with a cool splash screen of the game. It just black screen, white in like impact. Text. Download the patch for this to run. It just takes you to a black screen.
Bottom text.
But the worst part of it is there's like a Polygon piece of, these are my experiences playing Overwatch on Switch. The game didn't load any of the character models for any character. They were all red dots, like red orbs floating, shooting at me.
Uh-huh.
Oh.
The game has tremendous input lag on basically everything. The motion controls feel terrible. It struggles to keep its 30 frames a second, and it's terrible.
Yeah, I read a lot of that too.
Nintendo shouldn't have even allowed this, because this is evil. Because this isn't for anybody listening to this podcast or even on the internet. This is for some kid is going to get a shitty version of Overwatch that doesn't fucking work for Christmas.
They also made sure to launch it the day they launched their Halloween event. You know, maximize the loot box profits on that.
Man, this is the first year where I'm like, I don't want to play that. And that's just because Blizzard's being the worst.
Collegiate face cams and interviews are banned now. We don't need any of you motherfuckers stabbing us. They also banned the team that called them shit-ass hypocrites for not banning them, which I think is hilarious because Blizzard had no good option there.
Yeah.
Actually, it did. It was called back down and apologize profusely and completely reinstitute Blitzchung, but China money, so they can't do that.
I'm gonna be real. Like, if I was in their place, I would have reinstated him and then just raised his prize money.
They can't do that because there's that man from China is there saying, "We'll ban your game."
Yep.
Now here's the shaming. ESL Esports League executive Ralph, I don't know how to pronounce his last name. I'll say Raychart. Basically said Blizzard was right. We'd also do that. So, like, way to out yourself as a fucking. Just Riot also did this. I'm like, why would you just football
just
die
don't say anything
under that bus? Because Riot is 100% owned by Tencent, and they really don't want anybody doing that.
There was a story that came out that where they there's a Hong Kong team in league. I think Worlds is happening right now. There's some sort of league tournament things happening, and one of the teams is called like Hong Kong Attitude or something. And sometimes they'll abbreviate teams' names by calling them HKA. And a commentator got caught going HKA to not
which
have
means
to say
which
the
means
name
it was
Hong
a professional. That means that the memo went around being don't say that team's name.
Yeah, and then they put out a statement saying we don't try to do that. We're going to correct it, which sounds like they trained them to do the abbreviated way. Got caught and said no, they're not doing that anymore because it looked bad. But I'm not shocked that they were in support of like, yeah, we do a similar thing, which isn't going to make as many headlines as the Blizzard stuff until they do something on the level of Blizzard. A flagrant, like, disregard for, like, the players and fucking them over in that same way.
Fuck every person in the game industry when it comes to the journalism side who's like, the only reason you would dislike companies going into China is because you're racist or a xenophobe. Fuck you.
Yeah.
Fuck you for the last fucking year that you've been saying this shit. Fuck everyone in the entertainment industry journalist side who's saying the same fucking thing. It is not altruism that we're changing the content of our movies to get into another fucking market. It is not an objective good that we've entered another fucking market. That is not just being able to generate more money by tailoring our fucking content to China's needs, China's government. Let's be specific. It's not the taste of the Chinese people. This fucking Chinese government puts regulations on this shit. Tailoring our shit for that is not good. Stop fucking pretending it is. And also, give me that May statue back. Fuck you, motherfuckers.
None of them.
Yeah.
I'm so glad that nobody is accepting that except other fucking media class hacks.
It's
Even The Onion put out an article making fun of them.
Yeah, that was pretty funny as shit. I retweeted that. Did you see that, Bob?
No, I didn't see that.
What was it? Cyberbullying. Mean gamers bullying the Prime Minister of China.
Yeah, no, the weird thing is, like, no, it's not. Nobody upset about this is racist against Chinese people. It's about the Chinese government being insane.
Yeah.
No, we just hate the man in all forms and all nations.
You can't hate the Chinese man. You gotta love the Chinese man. You can only hate the American man.
Oh,
The American man,
I've
he likes Winnie the Pooh. You can hate him. Wait a second, I don't get this anymore.
The BlizzCon is going to be a fucking dumpster fire.
I'm surprised they haven't canceled it yet.
Tickets. I wish I had tickets.
They can't. Can you imagine, like, a week out, they're like, it's canceled.
all the people that planned their flights by now, all the people that bought their hotel stays. No, fuck you. That will look worse than them just taking it.
It's going
They
to
can't
be a
take
nightmare.
There's gonna be an event. There will be a free Hong Kong chant by the crowd, and they won't know what the fuck to do.
Yeah.
The Blizzard subreddit's really great because people are like,
oh, did it
like,
reappear? Did it get undestroyed?
They're trying to come up with like anti like protesting things they can wear that'll get past security.
I don't.
They're like, I guess they're like, they can't get rid of all of us, and if we just all happen to like a red shirt, like, and yellow pants.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. Like, they canceled that Overwatch event. Like, they had voice actors scheduled for that. It was going to be a real event at the Nintendo.
Wow. I didn't even know that. I just.
Oh yeah. No, the first 125 people to show up got to meet the voice actors for Overwatch. I would have been furious.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck about Blizzard. This is about meeting those voice actors. Eat shit.
Yeah, I feel bad for the voice actors that basically, wasted their time potentially. It's like, hey, you had to make plans to be here for this day. That's definitely rough. I've seen a lot of mainstream games media going, all right, we see all these people really mad about the China thing. Let's see if they really care unless Blizzard announces the game. And they're like ready to get mad at people for getting excited about any Blizzard game that might get announced.
Yeah, I've seen that too.
I mean, somebody will get mad. Somebody will get excited about it. But I don't think there isn't going to be anybody who's super mad at Blizzard and be like, oh, but Diablo 4. Like, those aren't the same groups, and they're going to present them as the same groups, and then I'm going to call them out on this show. No. There'll be a segment.
Like I think Blizzard is shitty. Everything they've done is shitty. If they make a game that's good that I have a desire to play, I'll probably still play it.
Look, KZ, no one's surprised. We all know you have no ethics.
I mean, of course, naturally. Burn those children.
Whoa.
Look, Bob, he's just saying development wouldn't be possible with all those children in the way at the development hall. So, burn them.
It's really funny that I said that because it's not nearly as bad as Bobby Kotick ate a baby for lunch.
What I said was objective truth.
He only ate one baby, KZ. Allegedly.
Now, KZ, here's the thing. On this podcast, we're all about punching up. Bobby Kotick has several $100 million, so it's impossible to say anything mean enough about him to not still be punching up.
I mean,
I thought you were going to say we punch up, he chews down.
One, true. Two, another Onion thing that came out. It was like Jeff Bezos. What was it? Jeff Bezos. Solemn Jeff Bezos realizes he could end up like homeless man if just a few 100,000 things went wrong. Yeah, no, fuck.
They're having a rough time.
Look, there are people who wanted that May statue. Give them the May statue, man.
Some of them are on this podcast.
No one wanted that.
They already paid you. I assume someone bought that. I didn't think it looked very good for $175. Like the neatest
I doubt they shipped any. I'm sure they canceled them.
Oh yeah, no, absolutely. And
it's probably one of those things where they only charge you once it's shipped.
That's a shame. But yeah, I didn't think it looked very good for $175 fucking dollars. It's like no. Like Nendroids, mini Nendroids are cheaper than that.
Riot announced 145 games.
That's cool.
They announced mobile versions of League of Legends.
That's neat.
They also implied it might like be scalable to console too.
Huh.
Maybe.
Neat.
Which makes sense because they're not going to get the PC version of that to work. So they're doing one for tablet. It's likely they could scale that for that. So they're getting even more infinite money.
Teamfight Tactics also is getting a mobile thing. Is that like their
auto chess?
That's
like
their
the auto chess thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah, it's their version of that ended up, from my cursory understanding, did a shit ton better. Like it ended up exploding a lot.
If I'm not mistaken, that has the original devs, doesn't it? Of auto chess.
I think the original devs are doing their own thing.
Oh.
I think they're working with Valve on the standalone version of auto chess.
It's something like that, where they said they were doing something.
Like they're not developing it, but they're supervising it or something.
Mm-hmm.
That sounds like something Valve would do, where they try to bring the people in.
Right.
They're making a card game.
I pre-registered for that because I'm interested in trying a new card game.
Oh Lord.
I mean, it can't be worse than Hearthstone. I mean, it can, but it can't be more random than Hearthstone.
I liked this, where it's like you get the cards by going to different regions in the game's world. So if you want this type of dude, you go there.
Yeah, it doesn't seem to have nasty microtransactions.
They're like, you can buy every card. You can just do it like that, and there's less of a focus on buying packs to get the things you want, and more of a focus on just
I'm gonna point this out a lot because I'm gonna bring up something that I was gonna bring up later. The new Call of Duty doesn't have loot boxes; it has a battle pass. Seems like a lot of upcoming big games aren't having loot boxes.
Wonder why that is.
Maybe the sword of Damocles hanging over their head is a little bit of a
the sword of Damocles.
Nice.
That's Kino.
That's when they start to.
I think it's a mix of that, and also that Fortnite does Battle Pass, and they make insane money. Doing that.
Yeah. I mean,
Fortnite
like they
has
revamped
hand boxes.
Yeah. Whereas Dota also started the Battle Pass thing, so it got really popular from there. And Fortnite obviously does it now.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's a good
they're also
direction.
making a Riot is making a League of Legends football manager, but with League of Legends.
Yeah,
it's
League of Legends,
esports manager. It's League of Legends esports manager, and like I said on Twitter, random event. One of your players says the N-word, lose $50,000.
I worry that I might like this game because that sounds like the dumbest shit in the world. But I
have an interest in it's like manage an esports team, the video game. Okay.
Oh.
They're also making a tactical multiplayer first-person shooter. It looks like if you put Overwatch on one end and Rainbow Siege on the other. And
I saw a lot of people relating it to they're like, what if League of Legends instead of these devs trying to take the Overwatch thing, they're taking that idea but pushing more toward Counter-Strike.
It really looks like because Rainbow Six Siege it has vaguely similar gameplay to Overwatch, and it's class-based and has unique abilities. So I feel like it's in the middle of there. And the last thing, they finally fucking announced the League of Legends fighting game.
Yeah.
That Tom Cannon and the people from
who made GGPO.
What the hell is that called? No, not GGPO. I mean, yeah, GGPO, but the thing I'm thinking of.
The Rising Thunder devs.
The mech fighting game, yeah.
Yeah. It's been 6 years, 7 years?
So long.
It's been, it hasn't been that long. It's been
it was it hasn't been that long, but it has been a very long time.
4 or 5 years. Something in there.
I
love it because they finally showed it. You get to see some obscured gameplay shots and then one direct feed thing for 3 seconds. And we're going to go dark now.
I'm convinced that they didn't plan to announce all of this, but they're like, Blizzard is in the doghouse. Dump it all on them. I want them to suffer.
I wouldn't be shocked. I'm willing to bet like we'll show off the card game. We'll show off that they're also doing an anime. So like we'll announce the anime that they're doing, and maybe like the esports manager. But then we're making something that people could drop Overwatch for, and we're making a fighting game.
I like it
Which
because
they also
it's like
teased the fighting game at EVO, where they've like confirmed it's a league fighting game that's happening.
Yeah.
So they like let in like that.
I like the idea that it's like our number one competitor has been found being racist and putting children in the ground beef. Quick, run to the nearest PR microphone and scream how much we love avocados. Like it's just
basically
announce a shit fucking ton of new product.
They actually told us a little bit more about the League of Legends fighter, like how it would work. You know how characters have like different stats in fighting games, like one has better normals and one has more health?
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
They said that some characters will have to win more rounds to win. Like all the female characters all have to win 3 rounds. The male characters only have to win 2.
That seems really weird.
Bob.
This feels like I feel like you're trying to take us for a ride right now.
Yes, it's a joke about how Riot is very sexist.
Okay.
A joke I stole from Mike Z.
We did steal that joke from Mike Z.
I was like, nah, this has got to be a field, Jay. Bob is fucking distressed.
This is. I was like, there's no way this makes sense. Help!
My goal was to trick one of you, and I succeeded.
You got the best. You got the best mark for that.
If somebody sends this to Mike Z and Mike Z hears this, Mike Z, please patch fast travel into Indivisible. Thank you.
That man's life is being ruined trying to fix a million different small, minuscule problems with that game, and then assess the larger things we brought up in the spoiler cast. Please don't ask him for new features right now. Actually, you know what? This is a pretty good place to slip the story. Me and Bob are on the Indivisible Discord. Mike Z steps in. People are like, why can't we run from battles like we could in the demo? And he's like, because we didn't think it was important. And then he's like, well, if you can think of a button to map it to, I'll consider it. And after a while, people finally go, what if you hold left or right? And he's like, I guess that could work. What if I don't want to let you run away? And I just fucking laughed. I was like, that's all this is about, isn't it? He's like, okay, I'll put it on the to-do list, but it's all the way at the bottom, complete bottom. So who knows? Maybe he'll hear this and he'll put fast travel one notch above that.
There's 2 news stories that I am super excited about. I'm going to talk about the shorter one first, and we can talk about the bigger
Fortnite.
one. Let's get that out of the way. Fortnite put up a black hole. When you logged in,
That
it
was
just
the
showed you a
funniest
black
shit
hole.
this week.
People got mad because they couldn't play Overwatch. Not Overwatch. It also crashed the Epic Game Store.
It was so
was
good.
funny.
Fucking, I saw people like punch their monitors, children crying because they couldn't play the video game.
And it launched with Fortnite
Chaos.
Chapter 2. It has a new map and gameplay stuff. Nobody here plays Fortnite. I might try it. I heard that this is the first. I heard somebody say this is what feels like if there had been a retail version of Fortnite Battle Royale would have shipped.
I've looked into this a lot. Like, you opened up the menu before it went out, and a black hole sucks up every menu and just sticks on that thing.
That's funny. That's actually really clever. But I can see why people got a little bit annoyed.
And then the game came back, and it actually loads you in a game with bots at first and just tries to slowly wean you into learning the gameplay. There's, like, underwater stuff, because they added, like, rivers and stuff to this map. There's stuff to heal your allies and stuff like that. They seem to have added a bunch of stuff alongside the new map. And,
I wonder if there's going to be
also
limited respawns, because there was like leaks that like we're stealing that shit from Apex.
Yeah, that's kind of Epic's MO when it.
That game is.
I mean, that's
like,
all that shit. Like, there was a point where a new MMO would come out, run it WoW would just knock it the fuck out because WoW was a juggernaut and go through its pockets and be like, these ideas are good, they're mine now. And
yeah,
then
that was great because it was like
expansion.
instant. They had to. They're like, we got to take the life thing from from Apex. Also take the mechs from Titanfall while we're here.
Bob, I think it may be time for Ben and Dab to return.
No.
Please.
It sounds like someone's going to get another exposed video posted about them.
I really wish I saved that video. That was the most adorable shit in the world. For anyone who doesn't know what's up with Ben and Dab or the exposed video, go to the GigaBoots Discord and keep asking until someone answers.
Now, the thing I'm really excited about, Saints Row 2's alive, baby. They're fixing the PC port, which is legendarily fucked. They're porting the console-only DLC that was never ported.
Oh, that's great. That's awesome.
I also hope this is a first step to putting Saints Row 2 on PS4 and the new platforms, because Saints Row 2 is my favorite one of those. It's the one that feels like it has the best balance between, like, Rockstar cynicism.
Yeah, it's the last one before it became Looney Tunes.
Yeah, it's the last one before it became Looney Tunes. Now let's talk about what Dan just stole from me, because I'm really excited about this.
I found this news. I found this news on Phil when he ran straight at me, and I said, "This news is good. It's mine now."
You fucking you unceremoniously grabbed it. There's no bullet point. It's all black. The audacity. I appreciate it.
So Twitter user PS Erebus, who has leaked several things at Sony correctly recently, hints that the PS5 will have full PlayStation backwards compatibility by tweeting, "Hey, don't sell your PS1, PS2, PS3 games."
I could not be more erect.
This is me at my fully erect. I call it Feel Rosé.
This is the thing that I wanted the most that I did not think had any chance of being in the PS5.
Yeah, I didn't expect it to be
even a hint of this is real and uttered.
Yeah.
At a conference, like during their eventual early in the year PS5 thing, or at an E3, they keep their momentum. That's it.
No, they're not going to keep their momentum, KZ. They're going to win the entire generation by an even bigger landslide. That's called
happen. KZ trying to be reserved about it.
If they come out and say full PlayStation backwards compatibility, the games run better. It's that fucking Castlevania clip, and they rip out Microsoft's soul.
You betrayed me.
No. Yeah, no, it's that
the
ridiculous.
idea that Jim Ryan or some Sony exec comes out and they're like, we care about all of our history, and then they just pop that out there. The entire PlayStation console thing.
Mm-hmm.
I'm imagining this. This isn't going to happen, but I'm going to say it just in case somehow it does. They just start playing a trailer. Final Fantasy VII PS1, Final Fantasy X, Final Fantasy 13, Final Fantasy VII Remake. They don't use Final Fantasy 15. And then 16. They announced 16 there at the PS5 reveal. And that's their way of saying everything is playable on this system.
Oh, I was thinking of some weird like splash video that's showing you, here are the games from our legacy, and then and then they just start showing shit from the PSP and Vita.
Oh man.
And it's everything. PS5 is PlayStation.
I'm already losing it over the PS1 through PS4 playing on PS5. If they get the PSP and the Vita, I am fucking losing it, you guys. You may lose me to being a Sony fanboy. I am so sorry.
You'll lose me to being a Sony fanboy.
Guys, the way they do it is they start talking about the controller again. They're like, and it's going to have pressure sensitive face buttons again. Oh, why is that?
No, fuck you. Get out of here.
Here's why. Here's why, motherfuckers. Man, like, Bob. Sony would love to get into the business of, here's your DualShock 5. Also, we have these retro controllers.
Oh.
Like, they would sell gangbusters. They could
buy them. I would just
everything.
They would make so much fucking money by getting into retro on this shit. So much fucking money.
And if they do this, I have to buy 2 and just sit on a launch one until custom firmware comes out, and I can be like, I'll just put a 2 terabyte solid state in there and put every PS1 and PS2 game, or at least all the good ones.
They're bringing back everything. especially Wonderbook.
Also, we just talked about fucking Project 8 running like shit.
Oh God.
Yeah, no. Somehow it's just no.
Project
put the disc
8,
in.
60
Just works.
frames a second, 4K.
That would be my nail the trick mode. Ugh. Good lord.
Yeah,
No,
I hope this is
feature
true.
could excite me more. They already revealed the USB-C,
let me
so that was
play
one of the
old
big
shit.
ones.
Give it to me now.
Yeah, no, that would be incredible. By the way, I figured out note to everyone because a lot of people have been like, man, if we have to keep stuff on an external hard drive, it will be really crappy to pull out of storage, right? And a lot of people are worried about how you're going to manage games, whether or not you'll be able to use an external hard drive hooked up to the PS5 and stuff like that. I had a revelation the other day.
Yeah.
With the price of solid state drives plummeting like they are, you can already, as of right now, and this thing doesn't fucking launch till next year, right?
Right, like next holiday.
Right now, you can buy a 2 terabyte SSD that has transfer speeds of over 500 megabytes per second for $300. Like, if you were using an SSD as your backup drive, just a larger, slower one than what's in the system, your time to pull that out of storage would be minimal. You know, even a huge fucking game would not take that long on something as fast as a cheap Samsung SSD. So I was thinking about that.
Without data being multiplied across the disk, and with the modular thing, size might not even be an issue on a lot of stuff.
I think it'll be better than it could be, but I think it's still going to be a problem. But not with this, honestly. You stick a terabyte or two on an external, and for me at least, that would work really well. So yeah, no, if they announce all PlayStations are playable on the PS5, holy shit, I'm calling the gen right there.
It's not like they don't announce the system for $800 or something.
They're like $900, and I'm like, oh, you.
And I'm like, you're throwing a lot at me.
Who stabbed
but
me?
Kingdom
Who took
Hearts
my
3
wallet?
will run better on this machine. I will buy it.
I said 600 was too much, but if it's everything, okay, you got me.
I mean, they can't do that because that's what they did with the PS3, and that screwed them. Like $600, it played everything, but
I mean, $600 in 2005 was a lot more expensive than $600 now. I'm not saying it will go well now. I'm saying it will go better.
It was also shitty and weird and was drastically overpriced compared to the 360.
I don't care. I just want it.
Like, at this point, I think Sony can be $100 more and not suffer any real consequences.
I think Microsoft may have a performance advantage, and I think that may have scared Sony into this entire retro program.
Good. That's called competition. Yeah. It's a rare example of capitalism working.
Yes.
I feel like Microsoft should have been scaring them this whole gen with, we can actually get things to run like 360 games, Xbox original games. Like Microsoft has almost nothing as far as back catalog, but they are just stomping them with back compatibility.
That's why this is happening. Them.
They're like, what exclusives you got? Third party? It's just...
Yeah.
This feels like Microsoft being like, not Microsoft, Sony being like, Microsoft has one organ left. We're going to take it.
It's this idea of someone goes to another person in a fight, and they're like, look at this skill I learned. And Sony's like, the skill I've crafted over the past 20 years of Sony back catalog.
Can you fucking imagine, Bob? I think our entire friends group,
legacy content.
Our entire friends group will go back to being Sony fanboys if they do this.
Yeah, probably.
It doesn't matter how bad they fuck up after that. I can play the old games forever.
That's why it's really fucking dangerous.
Like, I can be like, I want to play this PS2 game I never played. I don't have to think, okay, do I have to dig out a PS2, try to make it work on a modern display?
Is it emulatable? Will it run?
Will it run if I emulate it? Like, earlier this year, I was like, I kind of want to play Ace Combat 7, but they're all on platforms I don't have access to anymore. And it's like, well, with this, every time a game comes out, the fucking publisher could be like, and as a pre-order bonus, here's the digital version of the old one.
Yeah, that's true.
Yeah, they already started doing that with 360.
And that would work great. Christ, it is beyond words the value it would offer if it just worked with those entire catalogs out of the box.
We're remaking Ape Escape. If you pre-order it, you get the PS1 ISO. You just get it.
Yeah.
It's there.
That'd be great. Ugh. We have to move on. I could speak at great lengths about how much this excites me.
Okay, I'll whip through some other stuff. Anthem's getting armor that just looks like Mass Effect races.
I sent this to him like last night. Like, dude, they're doing a Halloween event
where you can get armor that looks like a Quarian or whatever. It's sad and desperate and reeks of death.
Does it have an N7 logo on it?
No, because it's like an armor set that just looks like the race, like the big humpback guys, the Krogan.
Weird.
You can get an armor set that just looks like a Krogan.
Why would you do that? Whatever.
I saw people responding, going, "This isn't offering any like unique content that's going to make the game any fresher at all.
Well,
like it's just we have cosmetics. That's it.
I noticed
they canceled all content.
I think that we have something important left off the doc or the news here. Let me just double check it. Really quick. You can go on.
Yeah, let's talk about other news while he looks it up.
Okay. That Sam Show collection that's going to be out eventually. We don't have a date on it yet, but they're making it. It's just going to have rollback. It will have rollback netcode. It will
good
be
rollback or
who knows?
I mean, presumably.
Yeah,
Could you imagine they did the PR?
Like, hey, Street Fighter V rollback.
Hey guys, we're announcing rollback. It's bad. Real bad.
I mean, it's probably just GGPO since I think Digital Eclipse is making it.
Oh, okay.
I can't imagine them being like, we made our own. Like, no, they just fucking stuck GGPO in there.
So the thing I was going to talk about.
Oh.
Fallout 76, you know how that was supposed to be getting like some actual NPCs?
Yes.
That's all delayed till next year.
What?
The Wastelanders expansion was supposed to come out this year. They did a huge thing at E3, you might remember, about how, oh yeah, we get it. We're adding NPCs in. Not this year.
That was between the awful Battle Royale mode with the Ring of Fire.
Yeah.
Just make a fucking expansion with that map for Fallout 4.
No.
Just shut down the servers, please.
No, I'm not even saying that. I'm just saying, like, just make a fucking expansion. Just recycle the map. And plop some quests in it and give it to people. That's all people really wanted. So,
good news, please.
Grand Blue Fantasy Versus added Zera and Vasaraga. Zera is like a girl with a spear, and Vasaraga is an enormous dude with a scythe in, like, armor.
I watched... This is one of their better trailers they put out because it wasn't, like, 40 seconds. It felt like a video game trailer.
It's still incredibly short. Yeah.
Yeah, it's still short, but I feel like they presented it in a way that didn't feel like every Arc System Works trailer where it's, all right, you showed me 10 seconds of gameplay and 50 seconds of logos.
Yeah, but at the same time, that song's a real banger, isn't it? You already know the smell of the game.
I want to know the lyrics to that
bullshit blazing.
There is no way he's not saying that is bullshit blazing. I want to know the actual lyric.
That's correct. That is bullshit. Next line, blazing.
I feel like that is bullshit is what you're going to say when you eat an enormous combo and lose half your life.
Like, they posted the lyrics of it. Like, one of the Arc System, like, Twitters, like, posted an image that had the lyrics on it, and it looked, actually accurate.
But with those two characters, we now have the entire launch roster.
Yeah, 11 characters.
I think it's 12.
No, one of those characters is like the little helper character.
Oh,
the
yeah,
main character,
right.
like the blue-haired girl.
Presumably, since this is going to probably sell like a fucking million copies, because Gray's like, a lot more than 1 million, because Grand Blue Fantasy is super popular. I can see a lot of DLC.
Mm-hmm.
Like seasons upon seasons.
I'm very keen on checking out the RPG mode that they're doing with it.
I'm
like
very
the
interested
action
in that
RPG
too.
Stuff. I'm excited for you to find some disgusting combo to use in it, like with Dragon Ball FighterZ, and then I'll hate playing it.
That combo isn't even disgusting. You just hate what it ends in.
Yeah. So it's disgusting.
Anyway, Another Toho Metroidvania got announced. It's called Gensokyo Night Festival. Instead of playing as what the fuck is her name? I shouldn't have forgotten her name.
I think.
Sakuya, yeah. Sakuya Izuyoi. Instead of playing as her with her time manipulation powers, you play as Suika Ibuki, who is an Oni, and has the power to manipulate her own density, which they showcase with, like, you can sink to the bottom of the water, and you can make yourself lighter and jump really high. And she also has the power of sparseness, which is one of those bullshit Toho powers. Where, like, my power is I manipulate the gap between anything. So I'm immortal because I can control the gap between life and death. I have no idea how sparseness will factor into gameplay, because in the bullet hell game she's from, that means the UI elements dissolve into bullets and attack you.
Okay. I like that Toho is just JoJo's.
Accurate.
Pretty much. But it's not by the same developers as Luna Knights. It's a different team. It has a different style. Hopefully it'll be good. I mean, it looks okay. It doesn't look like as good as Luna Knights does, but it's probably early on. I think you can buy it right now and it's in early access. I might be wrong, but I think it was like it's in early access just like the other one. Yep, it has a Steam page up. Early access, $12.
I might buy that.
And last news is the Fairy Tale Minute.
Fuck you.
Gonna need okay, I'm gonna need someone at the end of the year to count every 2019 Big Think Dimension, the news, and how many times certain things were said to make like a list of the most talked about things. And it's like number 3 Pitchford, number 2 Fairy Tale.
Fairy Tale right now is sitting at like 4 episodes, so it's not going to be that high.
It's going to be way higher than it should be.
Yeah.
Please be excited.
Way higher than shonen anime gets a video game.
Please be excited for the spoiler cast that Dan and Bob will not be on.
Okay, we'll do that. Just me and Phil. I'll give it to Dan. Like, hey, put this up some point, whenever you want.
In addition to the 5 other playable characters, they have revealed Gajeel and Juvia, who are the dude covered in piercings who uses metal magic, and the Stalker, who uses water magic.
Yeah, she has a good horny energy I respect always.
They explained you do side quests at the guild, and it increases your guild's rank, and they showed like a screen cap of a ranking board of all the guilds in the setting, and like where you stand compared to them.
That's interesting.
They said the game will cover the Grand Magic Games arc, which is where they nerf everybody so they can be shitty and come back and do a tournament arc, and the Tartaros arc, which is the demons. That they haven't mentioned if the Magic Nazi arc will be in this game though.
You see that demon arc's gonna be really good because they get to adapt the one fight in that, in which a character makes it so I've disabled all of your senses except for pain, and then Erza still won, and the reasoning is because she's Erza. That's what their explanation was, Phil.
Yeah, they really sell her hard.
You're blind, you're deaf, and the only thing you can feel is pain. How are you able to strike me down and hit me correctly?
Which they just took from Bleach.
I would love to check you on this, and the only way I can is with the help of people over at patreon.com.
Please don't. I'll have an anxiety attack if we hit that too soon.
Good.
I love that because you're the one who set this shit up, as the description of that is some dumb asshole said we do a Bleach podcast if we hit this goal.
I said a hyperbolic, a number I thought was ridiculous.
You hear that,
Thank
audience?
you to our thankful supporters. You made me a fool in the best way.
He's like, I bought DiGiorno's because of you.
Thank you.
Can't afford real pizza, but I can't afford DiGiorno.
It's about the same price, sadly.
I think that's everything.
Oh, thank God.
I would hope when we hit 3 hours and 15 on this.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Hell of a podcast.
Yeah, it just kept going.
Hey, KZ, what are you up to in the next week?
Well, to start off, this night I'm going to be editing the podcast, and anytime Dan starts speaking, I'll click through forward every 30 seconds. And if he's still speaking, I'll just do it like that. I'm sure this episode will turn out fine. Videos, I dive bomb 2 to 3 weeks worth of that content, so I can have a break and just casually stream. I've been doing Kingdom Hearts 3 level 1 as of yesterday. That's surprisingly not as bad as I assumed it was. I got through a couple of worlds of that because you can just turn off experience gain and just see how it goes, and it's going okay. But there are specific difficulty like slopes that happen in that game in terms of how it calculates damage and stats that I'm gonna hit. And I'm gonna see if I stick with it or not. But so far it's fine.
Please update us because I'm really curious if you hit Snowball and your organs just get liquefied.
If it just starts being bounced like
that Monsters Inc. world is where it kind of starts, where you hit that one black gooey boss and your damage just runs out. But if I keep up with eating the food in that and the Lucky Emblem equipment, I think my damage will be okay. But we'll see. I need to keep going through that. And I'm going to stream more Jackbox because that stuff's great. That's going to be me coming up.
I hope to do some Jackbox with you. That would be great.
Yeah.
Do you have to buy this, or is there, like, you keep saying you don't? Is that real?
Yeah. Here's how it works. One person buys the game. The rest of them go on a website to play it or a phone.
Yep. It's really great.
I'll just stream the video to people. That's how it'll work. Yeah. Dan and Bob, what are you doing?
Well, of course, this is going to be last Friday, but tomorrow we are doing the Dreamcast HDMI console roulette. Very excited for that. That HDMI mod looks so fucking good that version of Street Fighter 3 Third Strike looks better than any port I have ever seen or the original PS2 version. Hell, maybe even the arcade. It's so clean looking. It's so good. I'm so excited for this stream, and I'm glad finally we're able to do this. Aside from that, I'm going to finish
my... Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, that makes sense. Aside from that, I'm really hoping to finish up tonight or some other day my experimentation on the PS2 and see if I can't get the solid state drive set up to work. Super hyped. Super hyped.
I thought you were going to say finish editing Detroit. Because I know that's stealing your soul.
Yeah, don't worry about it. It's more y'all. More episodes will come out at some point. I make no promises. You should expect one next week. Yep.
All right, I've been half looking at that. Who's the person in the thumbnail? Is that me?
I'm gonna go look. I
think it's supposed to be me. I don't.
It's supposed to be Bob.
I was looking at the character art
and
it almost looked like LEDs were used for like glasses. I was like,
oh, they have the red LED on the side of their head glowing.
Yeah.
I did. I have to admit that I scrolled past it kind of fast. But I was like, is that fucking KZ? Did he get in on this? I wasn't aware.
Like,
that is
like no, I was not.
That is not KZ, but some people thought that, so I understand.
Yeah,
so Dan
would have killed himself. That's another track he has to deal with.
Yeah, I would have. Oh man, just the microphones in this room alone is enough to deal with. Thank you. No. Yeah. Aside from that, I don't have anything to announce. We are continuing the huge amount of work we're doing behind the scenes to get prepared for future events and future better video setups, like I was talking about earlier with the Wii. So we're gonna try our best. You have stuff to look forward to. Be happy, consumer.
Wow. Okay. Feel.
I guess I'll be unlocking characters in Burst Limit.
Our brother DiGiorno. I'll play some Burst Limit with the DiGiorno.
I chewed it. I'm gonna buy an $800 audio interface.
No, it'd be $200.
I gotta kill the bumblebee in my room.
There's no escaping him.
Guys, I've been huffing Raid for weeks and it still's in here. Thanks for listening to this episode of Big Think Dimension. This show, like our other podcasts, is only possible with the generous time our co-hosts have given to us and the equipment we've bought to make it higher quality and easier to produce.
Please consider supporting our podcast series on our GigaBoots Podcast Patreon and look forward to more gamer premonitions and big think to mention in the future.
The spooky executive producers for the month of pre-October are Vincent Pover, Nicholas Cameron, E. Lee Broyles, Star Falcon, Spaceman Spiff, Danny Richardson, Dryzard, Shadow in the Darkness, Red Blaze 27, and Third Birthday. Thank you very much to our pumpkin spiced executive producers. And also these guys. If you like this video and want to support us, then head on over to our prematurely haunted Patreon at patreon.com/GigaBoots and become an executive producer today.